Okay. Welcome everybody to our game tonight, WL Odom Field in Dale Condick Stadium for this second round playoff game between the Wagner Bulldogs and the Clinton Red Tornadoes. You might be thinking like, hey, what this? I'm recognizing this voice. Well, you guys are probably used to the sweet voice of old Jeremy Holmes. He'll be here shortly. Got a surprise here for the game to start. But it's me, Leland Alexander, and with me I have Nick Humphreys.
Hello, hello. I'm glad to be with you tonight. You got a couple old coaches sitting up here tonight bringing this to you. Looks like the Bulldog captains have made their way to the 50-yard line right now. I think you guys are getting a good look right now at all the students lining up, band members, cheerleaders, and everybody getting ready to welcome the Bulldogs to the field. Should be an exciting game tonight, though, Coach A. You got two of the most storied programs in 4A going at it tonight.
Yeah, I don't think you have any other two teams around the state that are paired up against each other in this round that have more combined titles than Clinton and Wagner. Of course, Clinton boasting the most, what, 16?
17
state
yes.
titles. So, it's a big tradition there in Clinton of football that even I can remember my high school days of playing them and seeing them be successful back then. So they've done this for a long time.
Yeah, it definitely, those 17 state titles. I mean, any of us that have paid attention to Oklahoma high school football over the years is fully aware of what Clinton is bringing to Wagner tonight with their tradition. But the most recent tradition, though, lies here in this town, and that's been an exciting thing. And tonight should be another great clash between these two programs.
It's like we got our captains going to center of the field. We have Kel Charbonneau, Dax Griffin, number 42, Gavin Miller, and number 3, Matson Swanson, the captains for Wagner.
You know, this senior group has been a really good group over the years, and I know tonight a lot of family members get a little teary-eyed because it's the last night they're going to play out on this field. But it's been a really special group, been a fun group to watch over the last few years, and I'm sure they're pretty fired up tonight to play their last game out here.
Oh, yes, definitely. And as you're saying, Nick, they are a great group. I had the pleasure of coaching these guys. So this is almost the last group that I've coached. I believe the juniors might be the last one I actually coached in the 9th grade. So
looks like Wagner won the cost and will defer. And Clinton's going to receive down on the south end here. So we're going to get to see our defense first. Give you a little preview of kind of what will be coming your way. If you like traditional football, you're going to like watching Clinton's offense tonight. They're going to be under center, a little bit of eye. Those of us that have coached against Clinton all these years, we're fully aware of sweep, power, QB follow, little fullback dive. I mean, you're going to see a lot of that tonight. They've got a pretty impressive tailback in number 3, Zayden Collins. He's a senior, about 6'1", 190, but I think he went for almost 200 yards, if not over 200 yards last week in their first round matchup. So again, that'll be the key to defense tonight is stopping him.
Yeah, I could, with you being the defensive coordinator for us sometime and offensive coordinator, but I know in our state title game we played against Clinton, you were the D coordinator then, and I'm pretty sure you could probably look down there and recognize a whole lot of things they're going to be doing tonight. You probably could have called some of the plays by formation and everything that they're doing because it's probably so familiar and it's just what Clinton does. So we're going to see that tonight and see how we're going to defend that.
Well, you know, when you get to this time of year and you got good programs going against each other, the reality is that we do what we do really well. They do what they do really well, and they don't deviate much from it. That's why both programs are good programs, because they got an identity. They know who they are, and they play to their strengths. But looks like we got a little smoke going here. Getting ready to get warmed up and welcome your Bulldogs to the field.
Yeah, it is quite a display when we enter the field these days. A little bit more flair than we had back in the day, but it's pretty exciting and to get the little intimidation factor going there.
Well, I can tell you the thing I'm most excited about is where I'm sitting tonight compared to when I used to call plays up above the press box and set up a tent and stand in the freezing cold. This climate controlled environment in this press box is
Yes.
the first time I've really I haven't left the sideline hardly at all, and so being up here in this press box, tonight as doing this commentary. I'm pretty excited to be up here.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to be inside myself. Now, of course, you guys, there are two streams um, uh, to watch the Wagner and Clinton. So I think the two streams, we have one that is just on our website. You can go to our school website and you can actually click on the live stream tab, and you'll be able to watch the game. And the other one, I guess you just can access it through YouTube. So if you guys will get on, and I'm sure you guys are on, but different ways you guys can get on.
Looks like we're up to about 75 viewers right now, and here come your Wagner Bulldogs. It's yeah, definitely a introduction here.
Oh yes, it is. And by the way, guys, we're trying this a little different without the headsets. So if you can get into in the comments if the volume's not right or anything, you guys let us know.
And here they are, your Wagner Bulldogs.
So Nick, what do you expect to see? What do you think are some of the keys to the game for Wagner and for Clinton?
Well, I think looking at it, last week I made the same comment right before the game that if we can come out hot right at the beginning, get up a couple scores. The Clinton offense isn't built to come from behind.
Yes,
they're built to keep the game close, get it into the fourth quarter, and then see what happens. And for us, if we get out to a quick start here, kind of like what we did against Poto last week, it really puts them behind the eight ball because throwing the football is not their strength.
Yeah, definitely. I figure when I look at them on offense, I figure they're going to run the clock down to the play clock down to the very end and just try to methodically drive down the field and keep the ball away from us. I mean, if I was them, that's what I'd definitely be planning to try to control the football, keep Wagner's explosive offense off the field. And I know on our offense, I felt like I've talked to Coach Bryant. He felt pretty confident in our passing game tonight. And as you said, we'd like to get an early lead and put their offense in a position where they feel uncomfortable, where they can't do all the things that they do. And kind of feel like looking at them secondary wise that there's some things that we can definitely do to exploit them. So it's like they've had a little, from a few games I've looked at too, I think I've saw a few problems they have in the secondary with blown coverages and things like that. So I think we'll have a chance to really attack them downfield.
Yeah, and Coach Higbee over there at Clinton does a great job. I think his overall, I think I looked it up earlier, 57 and 12 or 14, something like that in his time frame, and he's won him a state title since he's been the head coach there. They do a really good job. So right now we got a little bit of delay, and it's not really a delay. I think we're waiting on the game ball, and it's going to make a special appearance. I'm just trying to see where.
We're not at a good vantage point to see this coming in, but from the response of the crowd, I think it must be close.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh, there we go.
And if you're wondering, and I know, you guys are having to listen to a couple of ball coaches right now, but I believe you're going to probably recognize a gentleman that may be getting out of here in a minute if he's involved in this process.
Oh, yeah.
I'll drop that game ball right there. There we go. Home games have turned into quite the event.
Yes, they have.
In Wagner history, I tell you what.
I've said a lot of memories of the first home game when thinking about having the guys out painting the field the night before back when we had the grass field and the big hump in the middle of the field.
Yes.
I always felt like the opposing coaches only saw the top of my head when I was standing on the sideline. Things are totally different.
Well, you're one of the few people I can make short jokes too. So I've enjoyed a few of them.
Yeah, barely, but you can.
Yeah,
right.
barely. Yeah, let's see. All right. There he is.
There he is.
There he is. There's your Friday night Bulldogs host over these years, Mr. Jeremy Holmes, delivering the game ball
All right.
to the referee. And here in just a minute, he's going to join us up here, and we'll have to ask him about that experience. I think he knows somebody that flies around on that helicopter.
Yeah, I think he does.
I think he's got a close relationship with somebody that might be involved in that.
Just might.
But quite the entry right there.
I'm just wondering what the Red Tornado fans over there thinking, like, what is going on right here? It's a spectacle.
I'll bet what they're thinking right now is that wind off of that helicopter is not making it any warmer.
Oh, no. Again, glad that I'm up here. All right.
And it is taken off, and we will begin this battle. Again, quarterfinal matchup. No doubt the two most storied programs left in the 4A playoffs right now.
Oh, definitely.
Like I said, it'll be an exciting game tonight. And if you like hitting and you like physical football, I have a feeling you're going to see it tonight.
Oh, yeah. Get ready. It's going to be a good one.
Like I said, Wagner will be kicking to the south end to the Clinton Red Tornadoes. Looks like they got number 20. Mr. Hill back there returning.
Oh,
and there's Mr. Holmes. He is here.
Yes. He has arrived.
That was totally awesome, guys.
Now, what I've been hearing is the next time you do that, you're just going to go ahead and parachute that on.
Hey, well,
We got to one up the next time.
all right. Thank you, coaches. We've got Coach Humphreys and Coach Leland Alexander up here with us tonight as we are ready for some football. And that is Rhett Butler kicking it away.
Good coverage by the Bulldogs right there.
That's number 6, DJ Pierce and company.
Number 16, number 9. We got all of them right there.
That's McFarland's number 9. 16 is Edward.
Like all the usual suspects.
Yes.
Right
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and you get to that time of year, too, where you're going to see some different faces on special teams. A few of the starters are going to stick their nose out there on kickoffs and punt return a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Clinton Red Tornadoes at their own 28. We are the first drive of the second round 4A state championship action.
Single back, a lot of heavy sweep, and that's what we see. Great job by Bryce.
Still on his feet.
Like we told you guys, that's a great job of gang tackling by the Bulldogs. That tailback is a full-grown man.
He does look. Is that number 3?
Yep.
Yes.
So Zayden Collins is the running back. And as you guys said, I think we're probably going to be calling his name probably every other play.
Yeah, he's going to carry the ball quite a bit. I think he had 30-something carries last week. Again, single back, double tight, double wing.
This is 2nd and 8.
Stretch play.
And they met him in the backfield that time. Was that
number 6?
Number 6, DJ Pierce stepping up again. That's going to be a loss of about 3. They gained 2 on the previous play. Now it'll be 3rd and 11. As DJ Pierce has stepped up these first 1 of 3 plays that we've had here.
Yeah, I love the way we're flying to the football right now and the physicality that we're bringing to it. So this is very important for us to keep that up all night.
I think they've kind of touted Clinton as well as far as that is concerned. Talked about their physicality, but Bulldogs showing up right now. Quarterback looking downfield, got a man, makes the reception, and he gets first down yardage.
That's number 8, Jaden Potter.
Okay. So Potter gets first down yardage, needed 11, got about 13 or 14. He'll get to the 42-yard line, and that'll be a 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes.
Nice little flood concept over there towards their bench. Flooding the zone there.
The gentleman playing quarterback, number 7, is a freshman, Easton Powell.
Okay.
And if it's, the Powell name, when they won their state title a couple years back, I'm wondering if this is a little brother.
All right. A 1st and 10 play. And here's the jet sweep. And the Bulldogs have snuffed that out pretty well. They're actually going to lose about 4 on that play.
It's like Kel Charbonneau was out there on that play.
And also Gavin Miller, number 42. And as both of you stepped up in the last 4 or 5 games, some new names, but a ton of familiar names. Gavin Miller and the Bo McFarlands, of course, Cale Charbonneau, Bryce Steele, Matson Swanson, been here since pre-K.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we probably called their names even back then.
Well, you got your split back here, which they typically run to the split. And there they are.
And that's exactly what they did. And he picks his way through to about midfield. Great pickup. Because it looked like the Bulldogs had that pretty well stopped, and he just able to slide through for a really good gain.
Number 20, Kentavian Hill, he was their kick returner.
Okay.
He was the one back deep on the kickoff. But, as we stated early, this is what Clinton wants to do. They want to keep the ball away from us. Okay. They want to get first downs. They want the game to stay as close for as long as they can and see what happens late in the game.
Actually got into Bulldog territory to the 49, 3rd and 1 for Clinton. This time is straight up the middle and able to slip that first one. I think that was Javon Smith.
25.
Looks like the spot is short.
Okay. Javon Smith was the first to hit him, and he was able to slide off that, but then the rest of the Bulldogs stopped him short. And looks like Coach Alexander, you had that spot right. It's right about where it was on that 3rd down play.
Yeah. First big test of the evening right here to see if you're going to go for it or try to pin us deep. It looks like they're at least going to line up and intend to go for it. That wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe looking for a hard count here.
Say if they do go for it, it's going to be a dive right here, number 3.
And that's exactly what happens. He's going to pick up first down yardage, and that is a large fellow running that ball.
Clinton has been running that dive on short yardage for as long as I can remember.
Oh, yes.
That was that 44 running the ball? That
was number 3.
Oh, it was number 3? They only have him at 6'1", 190.
Yeah, I think that was...
well, he's every bit of it.
He is.
Very solid.
But again, another first down.
Yeah.
More time where we're on the sidelines with our offense.
That's right.
This is, I would say if you ask the Clinton coaches right now, this is an effective first drive.
Yeah.
Picked up 2 to the Bulldog 47.
Heavy toss sweep formation right here.
Toss sweep.
That's exactly what happened. Got blown dead for a timeout for Clinton.
Wow, they wanted a timeout. Kind of felt like they had us in a disadvantage lineup-wise.
We want to thank everyone that's logged on, almost 250 different places as we start this second round action of 4A football. Rocky Mitchell, thanks for logging on. Steve Wilson, Shirley Harkins, she's a Cale Charbonneau fan. I believe a great aunt. They're always watching from Tennessee. CR from Denver, Colorado. Chris Rathsack, all right. Andrew Rathsack's dad. Terry Presley, thanks for logging on, Terry. And James Clayton. Watching from home tonight. We've got a lot of Bulldog fans that are watching from home. We've got a lot of Bulldog fans here in the stands. And Nick, Leland, either one of you, both of you, if we can squeeze that in before the next play. I know this is all still kind of new to you guys, but what about just everywhere, literally across the nation and across the world? People love Bulldog football.
It is surprising that there are people in so many different locations that are still, into our football program and all the great things we're doing.
All right, split backs again. Typically, they follow the split back, which would be towards their sideline.
1st and 10 from the Bulldog 47. There's that little toss to the right side. Coleman, Bryce Steele going to make the stop. And a minimal gain to the 45. We'll call it 2, 2nd and 8.
And again, when you get into these playoff situations, you're going to see teams predominantly almost 80 to 85% of the time run towards their sidelines. Again, it's human nature that the official doesn't call as many holds going to your sideline as they do when you toss it over here. Because I have a feeling our coaches would be yelling a hold if they ran that sweep this direction.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of that right here. And so single back stuff, stretch.
Oh, fumble.
Oh, fumble.
Ball.
Oh.
There we go.
back on the Clinton side of midfield, and number 3 able to pounce on it. That's their running back Collins, or that would have been disastrous on this first drive for the Red Tornadoes.
So we're back to a 3rd and long, which this is exactly where our defense wants them.
Okay.
And, last time they went to the flood concept on their sidelines, which for those of you explaining that out, it's a little quick, flat player with a second out behind him about 8 to 10 yards. And so we'll see. They look like they're flipping it towards us and running it to the field.
Either a toss sweep or they're going to go ahead and going out there.
3rd and 13 from midfield. They're going to pass it. Pressure put on, able to get away.
Good job.
In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And the Bulldog front 4 was really putting the pressure on that quarterback.
Yes, that was a great job by the young quarterback stepping up to get the throw off.
Yeah.
But that was great pressure from the very beginning. And again, Clinton doesn't want to be in 3rd and longs. They want to be in 3rd and 3s and 4s. I mean, and I understand that's true for any offense, but they really are more comfortable in those settings than there.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been a good catch to be able to stay in bounds, but probably was looking at the sidelines more than the ball, and it went in and out of his hands. There's a end-over-end line drive. McFarland's going to make it bounce, and
let's see.
Like
they're going to call it
touchback. Okay.
Oh, we got us a sideline warning.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
I think a ref ran into either a player or a coach right there.
So that'll be a warning on that. And again, the Bulldogs kind of averted a semi-disaster there, as the Red Tornadoes were there to down the ball inside the 5, almost about the 1, but as you said, Nick, I think maybe he must have stepped on the line before he batted it out.
Yeah.
And the referee was right there.
Yeah, and he was right on top of the call. And speaking of sideline warnings, I don't feel like I ever got one of those.
I may have gotten a few. I will say that.
It's so hard, guys. I just want you to know, as a coach, it is so hard to not step out close to the field. And our sidelines here aren't real deep.
No, they aren't.
I mean, they're deeper than a place that I won't mention.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But
Bulldogs will have the ball 1st and 10 on their first drive of this ball game from the 20. Charbonneau on the shotgun, looking to pass, finds a man underneath. That's Coleman. And number 9 did a really good job of shucking the block and getting on that tackle.
Well, and as we talked earlier, both teams are very. That's one of our plays that we run. That's that's something we run continuously. You could tell Clinton's a well-coached team as well. They're staying at home on our play.
That was Race Elliott on that tackle. Good job of shucking that block. Here's a 2nd and 11, and this will be Trent Edward into the secondary and makes a little move. Grabs another 5, 6.
He was
the
down.
Ball did come out, but he is down. I don't think that was even close. But Trenton Edwards so shifty, as both of you guys were able to. Nick, I think actually he missed the game at Fort Gibson.
Yes.
But came back in Oologah. And Leland, you said it several times. He's so shifty.
Yes.
We know his speed is there, but it looked like they had him bottomed up pretty good.
Yes, he does. He does a good job of kind of controlling his body and making those little bitty cuts and get through.
This time it's Charbonneau. And speaking of controlling, he controls his body and usually controls the body of the tacklers as well.
Oh, yeah, he brings it, man. So make you pay for tackling him.
So Trenton picked up about 24 on that last play. This time it was Charbonneau into Clinton territory, a gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
Probably got a quick pass right here that we could do. We got counter. All right.
This time the Red Tornado defense able to keep Charbonneau from extending further into Clinton territory.
And you're going to say his name a lot on defense. Number 3, Zayden Collins.
Okay.
Again, he's their tailback and he's their inside linebacker. And their quarterback plays inside linebacker. Me and Coach A were talking about this earlier. That's normally a sign of a pretty good team.
Yeah,
if your quarterback's playing inside linebacker, you got you a good one.
No gain, 3rd and 3. Here's Charbonneau. Pressure put on. He gets away. First down yardage and more. And as Charbonneau always does, he finishes the run so strong, Leland.
Oh, man. Like I said, he makes you pay for it, man. If you're going to tackle him, you're going to have to pack your lunch with it because he's going to come at you. He's not a dancer, as we said earlier this season. Charbonneau's ain't known for being dancers.
Well, and a little rush lane integrity right there. When you lose it, they come in on a blitz and they leave him a spot. That's a tough thing because Kel will take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
That was Tayshawn Williams on that run. Minimal gain as the ball will be placed just outside the 36 of Clinton. It'll be 2nd and 9. And just like that, fellas, we're almost at the 3-minute mark already in this first quarter.
Yeah, Clinton did a good job of taking up a lot of that clock. I mean, I'm sure they would have wanted to finish that with some kind of score. But, that's their game plan. They're going to try to keep the ball away from us and run their offense.
2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs. Charbonneau looking to pass. He's got Trenton Edward out in the flat. Edward makes one tackler miss, and he is still on his feet. Again, that shiftiness that he has. He picked up another 7 or 8 yards there.
Oh, yeah, just doing what he does, man. He definitely has the ability to make you miss.
Gets to just outside the 22-yard line. Bulldogs with a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10, as we are at almost 2.5 minutes now left in this first quarter.
Heavy sweep formation to the top. Yep, we got it.
And the pitch sweep to Trenton Edward. Oh, that ball is loose. I think Wagner.
I think we got it.
I think we got it. Although Clinton really thinks they got
yes, they do. I'm pretty
sure
like
our player fell right on it right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, 2nd down.
Okay.
Good.
Wagner, they're still wrestling it out on the bottom. And number 3, Matson Swanson, able to keep possession for the Bulldogs. And that'll end up being a 3-yard gain just inside the 20. 2nd and 7 for Wagner. This time, Charbonneau keeps it, breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, and gets inside the 15 and makes it 3rd and short. We'll get the official count as soon as the down marker is set. And it looks like it's going to be 3rd and a long 2 for the Bulldogs. The ball is resting right at the 15 of Clinton.
It definitely appears early that they've got a few things that they're wanting to bring number 3 straight on. He's got some automatic blitzes, and when he's coming now, he's coming out of control right now, which has been helpful.
That's sharp when I was down.
And I feel comfortable in saying he does not go down.
No. I think
unless he's really hurting.
Yeah, I was hoping it was a cramp, but I don't know. He might have took a helmet to the thigh or the hip.
Well, if you guys can't tell right now, our entire stadium is extremely quiet right now.
We don't need him.
I'm actually glad that the cheerleaders, I don't know if they timed it right or what, but they started cheering or it would be total silence here on Wagner's side.
So we're going to have to go play here unless we want to use a timeout early. We're going to have to bring in number 1, Mr. McHenry at quarterback, which he's done a great job this year. I'm excited to watch him play in the future, but I know everybody's a little collectively nervous. Now, typically when you bring in a new quarterback in the middle of a drive like this, cadence, you want to watch for jumping and things like that. We need to have a good, clean play here.
3rd and a long 2.
And like I said,
started early.
It's really hard.
Yes.
They're used to one voice, and you're preparing that way. And you guys see this in college and pro football. Anytime there's a change in those areas,
definitely.
But hopefully, we'll see Mr. Charbonneau make his way back out there here pretty quick. So we're back to 3rd and 8 right now. 3rd and 8, which again we're a little bit more comfortable in these situations than Clinton is. But I'm sure Clinton right now is hoping to hold us to a field goal attempt.
3rd and 8 from the Clinton 20. Here's the jet sweep to Caden Ford.
Oh, number 7.
Strung out really well by the Clinton.
That's that freshman, Easton Powell, quarterback.
Just bypassed him, turn back and block him.
Leland, I see you looking at the sidelines. Are you seeing any movement down there?
I saw him go back towards the bench. I know we have a trainer. It's always
running our field goal kicker out, number 99 right now.
Ball along. Zevlin, number 99, will try a 41-yard attempt. Colt Stroud, I believe, on the snap, and Matson Swanson on the hold, and he'll kick it from the 31. Good snap, good hold. The kick is online. Ooh, and just short. It looked like it was on line, but came up about 2 or 3 yards short. It'd have been nice. 41 yards for a college kicker is pretty good.
Yeah.
And we're talking high school here, and just didn't get under it quite enough for it to carry in through the uprights. So the score will still remain Clinton 0, Wagner 0. And Nick, we're just about through this whole first quarter already with just 2 possessions.
Well,
Yeah.
again, as we stated earlier, the game's going the way Clinton would have wanted it to go at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, that drive, I think everybody can see that it would have been nice to have had our quarterback finish that drive. But again, this is part of their strategy is number 3 is going to carry the ball all night long, and you're going to have to tackle him in the first quarter all the way through the fourth.
Yeah, you got to stay after him because he's one of those kind of backs that, you just pound it, and then all of a sudden, if he gets loose, he can go.
He just
got to stay. Yeah.
He just picked up 10 just like that, 1st and 10 to the 30. And I don't care what the scouting report says. That gentleman is way more than 190 pounds.
Yes.
He definitely runs more than that. Here he is again, this time.
It's a nice job right there by Bryce Steele.
Bryce Steele.
Nice double leg right there. Wrestling comes in effect.
He'll pick up 3 on the play, 2nd and 7 from the 33, and we are going, that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So the score still remains at 0, and we appreciate all of you guys who have logged on. Let's catch up a little bit in our chat room. Carson Sunbird, thanks for logging on. Trevor Weatherly, Jeremy Merrill, watching from Pryor. Scott Ballard. Preston Bunch, he's a middle school student. Thanks for logging on, Preston. Ginger McKean, watching from Florida. All right, thanks for letting us know. And Dan Kunertz from Jinx America. Here's Keith and Lane Mackey. I know, Nick, you recognize that.
Yeah, you got quite a few of them right there. They're in South Dakota.
Right. South Dakota. Nate Morrison, Dalton Self, Caleb O'Brien, and Lane Mackey.
I recognize that one name on there. I don't know what she's doing tonight. She better be behaving. But
that's Anita Humphreys. Thanks for logging on, Anita. Watching from Sapulpa. Got Vance and Glenda Frazier saying go Trevor. And Greg Brody watching from Fairgrove, Missouri. Thanks, Greg. Classmate of mine, Kelly Thayer, saying love those dogs. Jesse Smithson, Rhonda Rowe, Brent Lawson, and all of the 333 different places right now watching Friday Night Bulldogs and these Wagner Bulldogs in a dogfight right now with the Clinton Red Tornadoes.
I believe we got Charbonneau back on the field. Now he's kind of got a little bit of a limp. We'll see if he's going to work through this and be okay.
Clinton stayed pretty much in the eye this drive.
Okay.
They double tight. There's your little fullback dive to number 1. Great job again. Looks like Bryce Steele's down there again.
You got another double leg. Looks like, yeah, Bryce Steele in there, and looks like DJ Pierce as well.
Okay,
so that was the first play of the second quarter. As that first quarter saw really only 2.5 possessions. And so this is Clinton's second possession. And as you guys have already noted, this is exactly the way they envision this first quarter to go. On a 3rd and 7 from the 33 for the Red Tornadoes. Quarterback looking to pass.
Great coverage.
Good job.
That's Decaden Ford was blanketing number 87 for the Red Tornadoes. And I have a feeling it kind of looked like the quarterback was just trying to throw that one away.
Yeah, I think you're going to see as the game goes on. I know they did a great job on their first 3rd and long following through. But if we can keep them in those down and distances throughout this game, I think you're going to get them off the field quite a bit.
Looks like with Charbonneau, it looks like it was an ankle because I can see his ankle's been taped up.
Oh, okay.
But hopefully, like I said, we're just going to be okay.
Nice high punt. And Bo McFarland fields it cleanly with the fair catch. And the Bulldogs will have the ball in their second possession, 1st and 10 from their own 34. I do want to remind all of our listeners that make sure if you want to interact with us in the chat room, make sure you're on the Wagner versus Clinton stream and not just the Wagner stream. Okay. I know there's two different ones. You're actually watching the same thing and hearing the same thing, but we're only able to see in our chat room the Wagner versus Clinton. So again, if you want to interact with us and make sure that you're Wagner versus Clinton. 1st and 10 on the jet sweep, Anthony Coleman. And we're talking about how shifty Edwards is. Coleman also very shifty and very fast.
Yes, he is kind of deceptive too. He's such a kind of a slender, kind of taller build, but still got some pretty good little moves on him there. Kind of hard to bring down.
Picked up 5 to the 39. Here's a 2nd and 5. Tayshawn Williams. And the Red Tornadoes there to make the stop immediately. Number 50 leading the charge, Alex Amaya.
Sophomore.
Okay. So Red Tornadoes with the freshman quarterback, a couple of sophomores. Now that the senior tailback that we keep mentioning. So for all the opponents out there for Clinton, that's good news that he's a senior. How about a 3rd and 3? And they're going to blow that one dead. Somebody started a little early,
Caesar.
So that'll be a 3rd and 8.
I sure would have liked to have seen that play concluded right there. I think we had a decent little concept on them up at the top. They've made a pretty concerted effort to stop the run tonight. I think they're.
I'm looking forward to us taking a shot down the field. As I said, looking at them on film a little bit, getting lost in coverage, route concepts where they have to switch off, and
I can tell you, the Caden Ford down the middle of the field.
Charbonnel's looking to the right. Oh, nice. Anthony Coleman settling right in. He had like 3 Red Tornadoes around him, but he settled in, and Charbonnel puts him on the line.
Well, on the play before when we got called for it, the Caden went right down the middle of the field open, and so that time you could tell they had yelled it out, and so it opened it up a little bit more on the outside.
Nice job, Crow, out right there.
Here's a pitch sweep. Tayshawn Williams trying to get around the corner and almost slipped through there. That's that quarterback you're talking about, Nick.
Yeah, number 7, Easton Powell. And again, I don't know this, but if he's the younger brother of that cat they had a few years ago, I'm saying
I think that is. I think that's actually the same number he has.
He is going to be his brother was a tremendous high school football player.
2nd and 9. Charbonnel looking to his right, looking downfield. And that is number 2, Caden Ford. Goes up and gets it. And hung up there a little longer than probably Charbonnel wanted. But Ford able to capture it and makes great yardage to the 35 of the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, this is our advantage tonight. I mean, our receivers against their defensive backs is an advantage. And hopefully, as the game continues on, we can hit a few more big plays. And like I said, we just want the scoreboard to start leaning our way a little bit, and I think it'll make it a lot harder on them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, nice one play.
That is trying to catch that number.
Is Tayshawn?
Is Tayshawn? Okay. Tayshawn Williams, number 21, inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Yeah, and if I can, just slide this in real quick before this snap. Nothing is, well, I'll come back to that. How about a 1st and 10 from the 17? Tayshawn Williams again, this time is tackled for a 1-yard gain. And gentlemen, just right quick, I had taken a picture of the helipad there at Wagner County or Wagner Community Hospital, and I posted that on our Facebook page. Well, I was not intending for people to look at that as though somebody had gotten injured. I had taken that picture at 6:36 to signify that we were going to have a special drop-in. Charbonnel looking into the end zone.
Just stumbled there.
Yeah. A little miscommunication. I see what we're calling for because the defensive back did grab a hold of him. I think the refs are going to give them the benefit of the doubt that ball was thrown nowhere near him.
Yeah.
But
So
little miscommunication.
It was supposed to be to signify that we were having a helicopter drop the game ball in, and some of our Bulldog fans might have thought that somebody had gotten hurt. So I had to go to the Facebook page and delete that picture. So everything's fine, ladies and gentlemen. And here's Tayshawn Williams. A little bit more of a pause that we've seen before that. Usually they don't pause that much on that RPO. And maybe they were trying to decide who was going to get that ball.
Yeah, it felt like you should have stayed up underneath on that.
Well, I was going to say the counter, I promise you right now the coaches are going to tell him that you need to hit that counter closer to A and B gap than trying to bounce it. And I think, again, we're going to run out another field goal attempt. Now, this is about 5 yards closer.
Okay.
So his direction was pretty good last time, so maybe he'll get he kind of got that first kick nerves out of him.
Zevlin. Ball along on a 26-yarder high snap.
Great
They're able to get
job
down
by the holder.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
That is a great job by the holder.
Matson Swanson. Yes, sir. That's a 36-yard field goal by Zevlin Ball along. We've been calling him Ball along. Put an extra syllable in there, but it's Ball along. And the Bulldogs are on the board 3-0 with 7:20 left in the first half. And gentlemen, a 36-yarder, again, for a high school kicker is pretty impressive, and especially under that much pressure. It's all about timing on your field goals.
Definitely. You know, and I think I said this last time I got a chance to do this. From the beginning of the season to now, as far as our kicking game and our kickers, I mean, they've improved drastically. And so I'm very, very proud of that progress that they've made. And now able to, I think at the beginning of the season, we might not tried that field goal. But now we've got a lot of confidence in it.
Well, moving up 5 yards, like I said, the first time he kicked it and it wasn't bad direction.
Yeah.
Just little less, and that one was just enough.
Yeah, just enough.
Calvin Jones, thanks for logging on. Larkin 2010, watching from Clinton. And great job. Rusty Shackelford, thanks for logging on. Stephanie Freeman, as the Bulldogs will kick it away. That's Rhett Butler with his directional kick that he's been so effective with. And
get a hold call there.
Rhett has been so effective with that all season long, but the Red Tornadoes, I bet they've practiced that quite a bit this week.
Yeah, you're getting into that time of year where coaches have broke down so much tape of their opponents. Coach A, what you were looking at right there was 2 number 9s got tangled up right there.
They found each other.
I'll bet they're both very equally ornery human beings, and they enjoyed a little tussle there for a second.
They did.
Stephanie Freeman, Wanda West from Oregon, Tim Carey, class of 2010. Thanks for logging on, guys, with the Clinton Red Tornadoes with their third possession.
We're right back into double tight eye. Like I told you early in pregame, if you like that old school football, you're going to see it all night.
Here it is.
And again, these 2-yard runs that they're doing now, their thought process is they're like body blows in a boxing match. They're going to keep plugging away. They're going to keep plugging away and hope that they turn into 8, 9, and 10-yard runs in the second half. But I've always felt really confident when teams try to run the ball right at us. I've always felt like we got pretty tough kids in that department. But
Russ Perkins watching from Coweta, Sully K, Steve Paul from Orange, Texas. How about Rick Montgomery?
Toss seat formation.
On a 2nd and 8.
Oh, fake the stretch.
Going to go back the other way. They had that set up really well. Just couldn't bring it in.
Got Claire down.
Is that Miller? Or is that Steele?
No, it's 42.
42?
No, he got up.
Okay.
Oh, they're going to make him come off for a play.
And Nick or Leland, either one of you, both of you, kind of go through the way that the weather is changing and getting colder. You're going to see a lot of those cramping type injuries with this weather change.
Well, it hurts when you get hit when it gets a little colder.
Oh, yes, it does.
But no, I think right there, Clinton, they're going to run, play action base. That was a good screen pass set up, but they weren't able to connect on it. So again, we got them in a 3rd and long, which is where we want them tonight.
3rd and 8 from the 32-yard line for Clinton.
I have seen them run draw from this look.
Sprint draw.
Let's see what they're going to do here.
long count for sure. And he's looking to pass, looking deep downfield, and that is well over the head of everyone.
Yep.
And the Bulldog defense stands up again to this Red Tornado offense.
As Nick said, this isn't what they want to be in. They don't want to be a 3rd and long because this is not their game. So we can keep putting them in those situations.
Well, and right now, you know, the field position, we flipped the field on them here a few possessions in a row. I think we're really close to hitting a big pass play, and hopefully we can hit one right here before the end of the half.
Little trouble with the snap, and now a long punt from the Red Tornadoes. And right now, well, the defense for the Red Tornadoes has been effective as well, but probably some of their best defensive plays has been this punt.
Got a late flag back here.
Uh-oh.
Got
Got to be post possession.
I didn't
sure.
really see.
Yeah, I missed that.
Rick Montgomery watching from Waynesville, North Carolina. Mars Trek, 1157. David Johnson. Michelle Appleton. Larkin 2010. Keith Hefner and Dan Hoffman watching from the man cave at Toppers. Personal foul against Wagner is the call.
Well, all that field position talk I was saying pretty much just went out the window. And I can tell by Coach Conditt's reaction and speaking to our player on the sideline that you don't, we got the ball closer to midfield, you'd like to keep it there. And whatever debate that young man was having on the field, he would have preferred for him to have stayed quiet.
Yeah, I was about to ask what player that was, but I think we don't want him to continue.
First 10 for the Bulldogs.
A lot of motion there.
Yeah, we had a legal procedure there.
That was set up pretty well.
Now.
And look, I thought they were going to blow that dead, but continue to go on at McFarland, but that's going to come back. As again, we'll try to catch up to our chat room in this little bit of pause here. Carly Mayfield says, "Go Anthony." Kerry Wakefield watching from Tulsa. Caitlin Collier watching from Florida and the family. Chris Cravat from Locust Grove. I know both of you gentlemen recognize that name.
Yep.
Let's see who else is logged on with us as we await the first down after that penalty. Marcella Hofschulte. Thanks for logging on. I know you guys recognize that name as well. Frank and Marcella and Rye Dog, Rylan Hofschulte, saying hi to his principals.
Well, again, we're backed up.
Oh,
guys, if he gets an open field.
Trenton Edward.
Good run.
They were able to slow him up just enough to catch him. If he wasn't slowed up, he was gone. But he had to cut back in, and that allowed the pursuit to get him. But, wow, Trenton Edward, just like that. And, Clinton has done a really good job at bottling him up so far, but not that time.
Man, that's a great time for us to flip the field with a huge play right there.
First and 10 from the Clinton 36-yard line.
Got some more early movement, I think.
Well, if you've watched us throughout the year, and I know the coaches, this has been a frustrating part. We've got to clean this stuff up. You get into these playoff games, we have got to stop getting some of these penalties that put us behind the sticks a little bit. Now, we got some really talented offensive players. We just need the ball to keep moving that direction.
Definitely.
Bud Brady, we've got the score at the bottom of your screen. Should be updated. It's Wagner Bulldogs 3-0, but the Bulldogs are threatening on this first down
Good
play.
screen pass.
Trenton Edward.
Oh, nice move.
And if the flag comes in, I'm looking at the reaction on the sidelines, and Wagner, I think, is thinking it's going to be going against us. We'll see what the official sign is.
Wow.
Blocking the back.
Ooh.
And where that came from was a really strange call as far as location through the ball. But Stacy Vinson thanks for logging on. Bud Brady. Sandy LaFontaine, watching from Poto. Sandy, thanks for logging on again. Remember you from last week, and appreciate you logging on. Mary Ann Swingle. Brent Lawson, Rhonda Rowe, Gavin Trueblood. I know you guys recognize that name as well. Watching from New York tonight.
Definitely got to start cleaning this thing up here.
A first
penalties.
And here's Coleman on that quick hit. Able to make a couple of tackles, miss down the sidelines. And he's just so quick. It's the Tornadoes, there were 2 or 3 guys right there, and they just couldn't make the stop.
Like I said, he's very deceptive there. Like, it's just the with his stature and everything, the way he looks. But boy, just puts little moves on and makes people miss, makes good plays.
I'm going to end up sounding like a broken record, but our advantage is out there on the edge with our athletes in space. We just got to get ourselves cleaned up on the penalties so that we don't have to keep doing that.
Oh, that's Decaden Ford on the slant. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Very good.
Number 2, Decaden.
I believe Clinton's going to get it this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so, Clinton. Now, here's the deal. If this is on Clinton, you got a 15-yarder.
I already know what we're going to do.
You might want to look out for something special on that kickoff.
Yeah. So, a 23-yard connection from Charbonneau to Decaden Ford on the slant. In for the score. Touchdown Bulldogs. 4:13 left in the second quarter as McHenry looks to the sidelines for the call of whether it's
after the
still calling that one penalty, and it is a personal foul against the Red Tornadoes, and that will be assessed on the kickoff.
Looks like we're going to go ahead and take it and go for 2.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So the ball will be placed just inside the 1-yard line after that penalty is assessed. And I have a feeling that we're probably going to be seeing Charbonneau and his linemen pushing their way into the end zone.
Nick, you called it there. You saw some weakness there in the middle of the field. We definitely went after it. Oh, okay. We got to shift into a formation.
Still in the shotgun, though, but he's going to just plunge ahead, and he is in for.
Did he get in?
Did he get in? I can't see.
I sure looked like his body.
See the signal.
Saying no good. Wow. Okay.
Right.
Must have been a knee down because his hit from the waist up looked like he fell into the end zone.
Looks like he was well in. So.
Well, I will tell you, it looks like our sideline completely disagreed with the referee's assessment of that. The angle we're at is not the best, but again, we clean up a few things right now. Our advantage between our receivers and our athletes in space as the game continues on. Now we're in that stretch where we're up 2 scores on an offense that wants to take a lot of time off the clock. One more score, we can really start putting a lot of pressure on that other sideline. And so hopefully, we can finish out this half with another quick 3 and out and another score and gain a little, put a little space between us going into halftime.
Yeah, that would definitely be an advantage to get a score right before the end of the half because we're going to get the ball in the second half.
That's right.
And you extend it to that point, they're really, really, really in a bad position.
With 4:13 left in the first half, Wagner Bulldogs 9, Clinton Red Tornadoes 0. Yolanda Bell, thanks for logging on. That's Coach Bell's wife. Coach Bell down on the sidelines. She's on grandchildren duty tonight from North Carolina. So thanks, Yolanda, for logging on. And Louise Tink and Don Maxey, thanks for logging on. Coach DJ, of course, from the Tar Heel State, watching his nephew play, coming up with some big plays early on. Adam McAdoo, Rhonda Rowe. And I think we're getting caught up with everybody in our chat room. Kane Bowman, I know you guys recognize that name. As Rhett Butler will kick it away, that placement kick, and will be fielded at the 20-yard line. And as has been all season long, the Bulldogs special teams are down there quickly to make the stop.
Well, Coach A, you being an old special teams coordinator, it's kind of interesting watching who Clinton has on that third row. I think they've been anticipating those short kicks because they appear to be. I saw their tailback was on that row. They put another player. I think they're expecting
Yeah, they're
that
well
short.
coached up on doing all the special things we do, kicking off football. So.
Bruce Dumont, Carla Johnson Smith. It's me, your favorite Reagan, okay? Jeremy Mangrum, Bobby Mangrum, thanks for logging on. Got some kids at high school and in middle school. Emma, and that is going to be thrown into the dirt as number 54, Anthony Edwards, applying the pressure on the quarterback. Made him throw it a lot sooner than he wanted to.
Little confusion there. Tailback went the opposite way on the fake.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I saw the quarterback's reaction. They had something messed up on that play. But again, what you're seeing right now is we're up 2 scores. Now they're starting to get out of their element a little bit. So I think that the momentum has definitely shifted in this ball game. After that first quarter that was pretty much controlled by Clinton as far as the time of possession, you're starting to see a little bit of a shift now.
2nd and 10 after that incomplete pass. Running back in motion, he'll get the ball, cuts back to the inside, and good gain on 2nd down, number 20.
Late flag.
Uh-oh. Flag. They're not calling us for it's kind of late.
Kentavian Hill on that last carry, 6-yard gain if it stands.
See anything that could have been
one of our players was getting up, so I'm wondering if one of the Clinton players hit us late, but we'll see here. No.
Referee coming this way. Personal foul against Wagner.
Man, I gotta tell you, I looked at the replay and I cannot see that. You know, usually one of my jobs here when I'm not doing this is escorting the referees into the locker room at halftime. And I'm kind of glad I don't have that job.
The ball will be placed in Bulldog territory at the 49. Clinton with a 1st and 10, 3:32. And the clock running left in this 2nd quarter.
Well, and one thing to look at here, too, is Mr. Charbonnel's getting a little bit of a break right now at linebacker.
Okay.
I bet that doesn't last much longer. Sure that has a little bit to do with his ankle just kind of hurting him a little bit right now.
Yeah. Anthony Harris on that last stop as the Clinton running back gets to the 45 to pick up a 4, 2nd and 6. Louise Maxey, thanks for logging on. Curtis Hill, that's a Wagner Bulldog from days of old. Not too old, Curtis, no. But watching from Sanger, Texas, on a 2nd and 6. And here's...
Came back to that same play they did with number 20 just a few plays back.
Number 11, Darren Hester, on that carry for the Clinton Red Tornadoes. He's going to pick up, we'll call it 3. It'll be 3rd and a short 3 from the Bulldog 42.
That's a big play right here.
Now, this is more of their style, 3rd and 3s. But again, I would really love to get a stop here and get the ball back one more time.
Probably going to see Collins here on this carry. We'll see what happens. That's exactly what happens. Straight up the middle. Initial contact, short of 1st down yardage, but hard running by Collins to get that 1st down.
Well, what we see from him, looking at some of the previous games, you definitely have to swarm tackle this guy. And he's very good after contact. He's made some, as Nick said earlier, some real grown man runs this season. Definitely got to swarm tackle.
Shout out to my brother Joe Holmes, watching for Claremore. He's an original member of the FNB crew of old. Karen Miller, Justin and Jeremy. There's some other fellas that you guys will recognize for sure.
Toss sweep to their sideline. Yep.
And we've got a timeout, Wagner.
Dale saw something he didn't like about our lineman.
Robin Mitchell, watching. Thanks for logging on. She had some Jonica Sue, I believe. And I'm sorry, Robin. I can't think. Well, you gave the years, so you're cutting me a little bit of slack. That was 2012 and 2014, so you'll have to forgive me there. Starla Carlton, Cannon O'Brien, cheering on the Bulldogs from home. Charlie Burns, thanks for logging on, Charlie, and father-in-law, watching from Toppers America. And so if you, we'll go back to that as we got a little bit of the time out here. Fred Ingram, thanks for logging on. Wondering if they brought the refs with the flags, whether Clinton did. But so I had the pleasure of delivering the game ball today from Tulsa Live Flight, Keith Owens, the pilot. And back when I first started teaching back in 1999, Keith Owens, his son, Keith Owens Jr., was a student of mine and coached him in soccer. And all these many years later, I've had the relationship with him and Dad and Mom, Levita and Keith. And the rest is history, I guess. How about a 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes from the Bulldog 37-yard line?
Oh, a little trap action.
Quick trap inside to Collins. And he is actually going to that last lunge there, Leland. They had him a yard. He picked up at least another 1 or 2 yards just of being able to go forward instead of being pushed back.
Yeah, it's all these running backs they have, man. They're physical and they yards after contact, man. They kind of live on that.
Well, and one thing too, I wanted to mention that timeout. Looking back on it, I think Coach Condit wanted to have a little conversation with the White Hat.
I was going
to let him know before we get to halftime that he, doesn't appreciate a few of these flags being thrown. Just to let him know, give him something to think about when he went in.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I kind of noticed that. Boy, they missed
2nd and 7 play.
We got us. Yeah, we pretty much weren't going to let 3 out on that route in any way. We tried to tackle him once, missed him, and then Kel made sure that he was not getting out.
Although I thought we would have got a holding call on our defensive end there when he was going inside. Somebody kind of tugged on him a little bit as he was going through.
Well, now that one I don't argue with, but they were trying to set up a little tailback wheel out of the backfield, and our kids saw it coming.
Yeah, saw it coming.
Daniel Downham's, he's also wondering if we're playing the third man here. So, Chad Mann, thanks for logging on from Quorum America. And Chad is a classmate of mine. James Bruce, Jim and Betty watching from Toppers tonight. Marla Downing, Steve Wilson. I know he's been with us. And this will be a 1st and 10 from the Bulldogs 17 for the Red Tornadoes. Single back. And here's a quick hit. And that ball falls incomplete. Bulldogs had it pretty well covered, but number 11 was the intended receiver, Darren Hester. 421 different places right now. Now, that doesn't count if you're logged into the Just Wagner title. There may be still a few there that maybe don't want to get involved in our chat room, which you don't have to, but where you could still go to the Wagner Clinton one. You're seeing the same thing. You're hearing the same thing. It's just we won't know if you're there without being on the Wagner Clinton. And the Bulldogs, actually the Red Tornadoes, are going to take a timeout with 44 seconds left in this first half. I believe this is the 3rd possession for Clinton. Or is it 4th?
I think it's 4th possession.
4th possession for Clinton, 3rd possession for the Bulldogs. So 7 total possessions, and we're almost at the end of the first half.
That's what Clinton wants to happen. They want to limit the amount of possessions that we're going to have on offense. Funny thing about them is that they, some methodical of like getting a few yards every play. It's almost like they're running out of time to try to score. Also, so I kind of see if they're probably going to have to throw something here a little bit if they can. So that's 2nd and long. They can't get anything.
Well, this is an important drive for Clinton right here because we get the ball to start second half. And so, like I said, they're kind of in that dangerous zone right now where we're getting ready to get to a number that's going to be hard for their offense to get to. So they need to come away with points on this drive if they want to keep this game probably within striking distance going into the 3rd quarter.
The Oklahoma Secondary School Activities Association encourages everyone to be a positive supporter of your local school activities. After all, sportsmanship is everyone's responsibility. Do the right thing. Public address announcement from the Oklahoma School Activities Association, OSSAA, sponsors tonight of all of playoff football. And we are live here at WL Odom Field on a 2nd and 10. Quarterback looking across the middle.
Oh, I think we got. Oh,
is that
yep,
there? It is. Wow.
Yes. There we
Great
go.
play as he jumped the route. Number 2 to Caden Ford. And he just jumped on the inside of that and was able to pick it off.
That's what I was thinking. I felt like they might get a little impatient, thinking knowing that they kind of run out of time. It's going to have to try to throw to get in the end zone there. So
Mr. Ford has had a fantastic year for us this year, especially at defensive back. I know he's made some plays on offense, but he has been one heck of a defensive back for us this season.
Yes, he has.
37 seconds left in the first half. You think that we're probably just going to see a couple of runs up the middle, and the Bulldogs, as you pointed out,
we're probably going to see a tush push.
Yeah, as they are going to receive the ball in the second half. That's exactly what we see, and that'll probably is going to do it for that first half. We'll see when the clock starts again. Yeah, I think the Bulldogs are probably going to head into the locker room, as we still haven't. Now the ball has been placed. So they can run out the clock if they want to, and I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Well,
Paul Golden, thanks for logging on. 7 Anomaly Series. That's Rob Robertson. Thanks for logging on. Kaylee Jones and Gus Jones watching. Sarah Zachary from Hartford, Arkansas. John Graver, there's a name I remember. A year behind me in school. Thanks for logging on, John. Watching from S&J Sports in Muskogee. And that will be the end of the first half. Wagner Bulldogs 9, Clinton Red Tornadoes 0. The Bulldogs will receive the ball to start the second half. And we will take a break here at WL Odom Field and Dale Condit Stadium. We'll be back with you. We'll talk you through the first half and into the second half. As this is probably, fellas, I don't necessarily know if anybody predicted a 9-0 score after one half.
Well, Clinton, again, this is good for our boys right now to play a team that's playing kind of this physical style of football because as you look forward, I mean, they're going to have teams coming up if we make it through this round that are going to play very similar styles.
Okay.
And so this will be good preparation and kind of to let our boys play some of these type of games before we get there. And, this first drive coming out in the second half is going to be huge for Clinton. They can't afford for us to go down and put another score on the board. And so I think we'll be in for a treat if they come up with the stop. But if not, I could see us running away with a couple scores in this next quarter.
Yeah. All things considering, you think that Clinton really doesn't feel that bad about how this first half went. I mean, they feel like they're still in striking distance and with the things that they do. And as Nick said, that first series is going to be very, very important for both teams. Come out of this half.
447 different places watching Bulldog football. Thank you guys for logging on and in great numbers tonight. And if you're on the other stream that just says Wagner, there typically there's 50 to 60 on there. So I'm sure we're well over 500 by now. But it looks like this one's going to be real interesting in the second half. As again, I don't think anybody picked a 9-0 ending first half score.
No, I'm saying if somebody had a 9-0 in a squares game, they would be winning right now.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody's doing that for a quarterfinal 4A game, but I'll tell you that was like I said, Clinton's got to be pretty pleased with it minus that last opportunity right there. I know they would have rather come away with points, obviously. But like I said, all in all, I think this is really good for our team right now. I think these are things I know we've got to still clean up the penalties, whether we believe they should be called or not called. The reality is we gotta lower those.
Connie watching from New Hampshire. Thanks for logging on, Connie, as she has for several years, and her daughter Tiffany. Way up there, and I'm sure it's probably a little bit colder than it is here.
Looking at some other scores around the 4A playoffs, kind of surprised here. Elgin 14, Sallisaw 6 in the second quarter. So close game there. We got total 28, Hilldale nothing. Then we've got Bethany 13 and Ada 6. Any of those scores surprise you, any Nick?
Probably the Elgin game being that close at this point. But, again, this is the most interesting round that we get to see because this is the first time you start seeing those East and West teams come across each other. So, everything's always speculation until this round. Everybody, you look at people's scores and you go, man, they're really wearing people out. But, you don't know the level of competition. And this is the round where they start flipping across. And so I think what you're seeing tonight is probably some, everybody's feeling each other out in this first half. I think second half of every one of these games, you're going to see some movement. Like in our game, it's 9-0 right now, and I feel like it won't surprise me a bit if we come out and play a great second half and really stretch out this lead. And I'm sure that's probably what's going to go on in some of these games as well. But
well, and remember, not counting that last snap right before halftime, Bulldogs only had the ball 2 possessions.
Oh, yeah,
or 2 or 3 maybe.
I think we had 4 total possessions in the first half.
Okay, counting that last.
Yeah.
So three real possessions and scoring on 2 of those. A 36-yard field goal by Ballalong, and then the strike from Charbonneau to Decaden Ford late into the second quarter. And the Bulldogs actually went for 2 on that extra point and was called short, and that's where you get the 9-0 score. A little strange score there at halftime, but I'm with you, Nick. I think we're going to see a lot different second half, and maybe that's just the Bulldog coming out in me. But we still have time. If you were able to log on this morning, we had our first ever podcast of Friday Morning Bulldogs, and if you're able to watch that, you heard a few different styles, I guess, a few different styles of predictions tonight. You had mine. I got us at 35-14. That we had opened it. We'd actually extend the gap late into the game, but it would be close up until that. And then, Nick, I'll let you talk about your offspring and his prediction of what was going to go on.
Listen, guys, old Red, there's no telling what he'll say, but it's the funny thing is that listening to that this morning, and listening to all our kids talk, we talk a lot about our Wagner kids, but I'm always very impressed with how our kids handle themselves. I thought both players did a great job being respectful, of their opponents. I think one thing you see is that's one thing with this senior class that's pretty impressive. It's a pretty mature group, and I think they get the big picture. They've been on both sides of this. They were the underdog going through the playoff rounds when they were sophomores, and they won it. Getting to be the heavy favorites last year and not winning it, I think you see a very even kill approach. And so, but yeah, it's that was pretty entertaining, and you with the Bulldog hat, that was a good touch.
My best rendition of Lee Corso, I guess.
That's right. I saw Coach kind of threw the wave in for you, to make sure you got it. But I thought that was a neat little deal this morning for sure.
If you weren't able to watch that, you can go back. It says Friday Morning Bulldogs on the WPS live streams, and great interviews. Alex Shieldnights, Cale Humphreys, Cale Charbonneau, and we may have opened up. May have awoken the beast there, and that may be a weekly thing going forward. Leland, you called offense and with the Bulldogs and several of those years, and I know Nick did as well. Leland, what would you like to see in this second half?
I still would like us to attack them downfield a little bit more in the passing game. As Nick said earlier, I think there's a lot of things open in the middle of the field, and I know I had said this earlier. I just feel like concepts where you have to have their defensive back switch off to cover these different concepts. I think you can exploit them in that area. So I like to see them do that more. I like the fact that we've had some big plays in the running game. That's very encouraging also. So I feel like and one of the things you always see from a Wagner football team is you're going to see a play action. You're going to see a post over top, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen here in the second half. You might see it pretty early in that first possession.
Well, and you're talking about attacking them deep. I think we only threw the ball like 3 times, maybe 4 times the whole half, and completed all of them. But they were just kind of quick hits. Of course, that 23-yard touchdown pass to Decaden Ford, and but yeah, as we've seen in the previous 11 games, we're not afraid to go deep at any time.
No, definitely not.
Well, and one thing too, I mean, as a play caller, I'm sure Coach Bryant, that little scare with Kale kind of hurting his ankle for just a little bit, and he came back from. He's going to be fine, but that puts a little different concept to your play calling for a little bit. Now, getting in at half right now, where he can go talk to him and figure out a little bit more what he can and can't do, and kind of devise a plan. I really do expect us to have a good second half. I think it'll be more explosive plays, a little bit more of what people have probably been used to on the offense side of the ball. But I think you got to compliment Clinton, and that's part of their style of football. That they run this offense, they play this style of football because it's a tough brand intended on shrinking the game down. They're not going to let you have 10, 12 possessions in a ball game. That's not what they're going to let you do. And so, again, I think this is going to be well served for our team, hopefully, as we finish out tonight and we progress moving forward.
So, Nick, Leland has talked about what we haven't really seen yet, anyway, on the offensive side of things. On the defensive side of things, where you've also called on that side, we really have seen what the Wagner Bulldogs have done all season long. Their defense has been really tough, and it was really tough this first half.
Yeah, Coach Gilstrap's done a great job having our boys ready. A lot of the keys and things that he was preparing for coming into this game have turned out to be very much on point. And so I know our boys, you can tell they're in the right positions, they're doing the right things. And so defensively, the whole kicker is just continuing to tackle that young man all night long because, again, I watched the second half of this Clinton game last week, and second half is where he started doing some damage because, again, tackling 200, well, okay, let's call it 190. But, I mean, tackling a big old kid like that for 2 quarters is one thing. Tackling for 3 is another. And tackling for all 4 is a complete game. And I think I think we will do it, but that's the challenge going into the second half is continuing to keep him bottled up because we've done a great job of it and force him to throw it. And if they beat us throwing the ball, I think our coaching staff would be like, well, we can live with that.
Leland, on the other thing that we haven't seen tonight has just been because there's been so few possessions, and on the times that Clinton has punted, it's been very effective. And what we haven't seen yet is Bo McFarland get started up on these punt returns.
Yeah, I always made comments about him just being able to make big plays, but they're doing a good job with the punt. A nice high punt that gives their coverage to get down there and get around them. Now, Bo is doing something that a lot of people take for granted. If you have a returner that can field the football, fair catch it, I mean, that can cost you a whole lot of yards if he doesn't catch it. So Bo is doing, even though he's not getting a chance to return punts, he's doing a great job of making sure we have the best possible field position we can have on those punts. So he's still doing a good job at it, but just hoping that he can have an opportunity to get a chance to return one here. And I think if you get them pinned back deep and they punt it, you might get that opportunity because they'll concentrate so much on trying to protect and then maybe not get down the field so fast.
A lot of times we talk about the big play and the exciting play or whatever. Sometimes the best play is what doesn't happen. And what hasn't happened is turnovers.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of scares there early on. One was called down by contact. The other one was actually a fumble, but I believe it was Matson Swanson able to maintain possession. But as far as, those big, exciting plays, maybe not so many, but no turnovers tonight. A few penalties. Need to clean up that, obviously. But it's just been a pretty evenly matched game so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both teams, I mean, again, it should be good football as we get into the quarterfinals and moving forward. You got 2 good football teams on the field. We're 11-0 and they're 9-2 coming into the game, so you should see cleaner games in those areas. Few little updates here on the 4A playoffs. Elgin has now extended their lead out on Salisaw 21-6, still in the first half. Tuttle is still in the first half up 35-0 on Hilldale.
Okay.
No surprises there. The one game I felt like in 4A this week I was kind of interested to see the score was the Bethany Ada.
Okay.
And Bethany is up 13-6 right before halftime here. That's again, I think you're going to see some extension. Elgin, Tuttle, and Wagner have really played good football this year. And so I think as the night progresses on, I think you're going to see all three teams stretch out pretty good. But, it's a fun round of football for me. The quarterfinals was always a really fun round of football because you're getting ready to go on Thanksgiving break, so everybody's getting to kind of focus in. I know as a football family, they get to really hone in on football. Now, little weird dynamic for our program next week because of the way the playoffs are set up this year. If we extend into next week, we get a bye week, which I don't know if we've ever had one of those in the history of Wagner playoffs at this point in the year in the season. But it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
But you really have you've had three pretty dominant teams this year in 4A, and I think you're going to see all three tonight prevail and push forward. So
you talked about the Thanksgiving. We're having that bye week, and we just been blessed and fortunate to be in a position where we make to the semifinals year in and year out, where we have that traditional Thanksgiving practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to Coach Connick about that earlier today, and I said, still going to have the practice if we make it out of this one. So still going to have it, maybe a little shortened practice, a little shorter than they usually do. But I think it kind of became a Thanksgiving tradition for a lot of people here in Wagner. They're gonna get that turkey in them. Watch half of the Cowboy game. If you're a fan, you're probably at that point you're ready to go leave and do something else anyway, and come down to the stadium and watch the Bulldogs do their practice.
Boy, that hit home to me today when you and Condit were talking about that, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
Being a Cowboys fan right now is hard.
I'm a Cowboy fan too, and it's
I started developing a backup team this year. Like me and Condit have joked about that. I mean, we're debating on the Chiefs. I mean, the Lions are obviously as a backup team a strong possibility with having our old Malcolm Rodriguez playing for them for sure. But dadgum, boy, being a Cowboys fan right now, it's not the funnest place in the world to be.
That's been great since that early '90s, man. I'll tell you, when I was in college during those years, and during those Super Bowl years, I was probably hated on my floor in my dorm because I talked a lot of head back then with Cowboys. But it's been a long time since I've been able to brag like that.
So I want to catch up real quick. Still got plenty of time to get your favorite drink and your snack. Get back in that recliner or your sofa and get your favorite blanket. It's a little chilly out. Not quite as windy as it was last week. And Bobby Schaefer, thanks for logging on. Rhonda Rowe, we talked to her. Bobby Manning saying, let's go Bulldogs. Bobby, about an 88 grad from Wagner High School. Went on to have a career in the Navy, back here in Wagner. Poppy Goodnight, Danny Goodnight watching from Wagner. Keith Bennett, thanks for that, Keith. Looking good and sounding good. And we got another Nick fan on here. Well, I say another one. It's the same one, Nick.
Yeah. She loves me. She can't help it, guys. She's forced to love me.
B was Daddy's girl. Said, let's go Dogs. Hammond's 29. Brett Green. Dwayne Rife, watching from Naples, Florida. Dwayne's been with us for several weeks now. Hope everything's going well for you in Florida. Robert Cannon. Thanks for logging on, Robert. Robert, about an 84 grad, somewhere around there, and still got family here in Wagner. And thanks for logging on, Robert. Kenneth Zachary. Yeah, we will not know what those semifinal sites are until probably, Sunday they'll release that maybe?
Well, it may even be another week, to be honest with you, Jeremy.
With the bye week.
With the bye week. We may not know right away.
So part of, that's a great question, Ken, because part of the decision making, of course, is the two teams that are going to be in the semifinals. But it's really beyond that because you have to find a site to host that. And so many times, semifinals, as you guys were just talking about, is on Thanksgiving weekend, and there's just it's a very limited choice of who wants to spend their Thanksgiving break.
Well, and again, Leland said this earlier, and it's a blessing. It's something you can't take for granted here. Is we've got to play so much on Thanksgiving that it really is a big deal and a neat thing to be playing that time of year. And yes, trying to find places that will host. And and honestly, when we get done with our facility here and we get everything completed, we're going to be a potential place that can host. With them splitting A and 2A into two different classes, basically kind of like what they did with 6A with Division One and Division Two. I could easily see us being a host site for some of those Class A and 2A semifinal games in the future. And we love our football here in Wagner, so there'd probably never a doubt that we would be willing to host and do some of that stuff for some people. But yeah, it's I figure this year, when you're looking at the potential matchup, I mean, and again, we got to be real careful about that. I got so much respect for that Clinton football program. We got to finish this second half, but
sorry, Nick, something kind of peculiar right now. Wagner is warming up in their end zone, and Clinton has just now come out. They may add some time to the game clock, as it's actually almost at 30 seconds.
When it runs out, they'll put another 3 minutes on it. Yeah, that's pretty traditional for
I didn't know if 3 minutes had already ran out. I wasn't paying attention.
Izzy, thanks for logging on. Chance, bend but don't break for the D tonight. Catch up here. Anybody else that we don't want to miss? John Aldridge, thanks for logging on, John. He was oversaw the fixing here of the press box as the internet went.
He's our tech hero right
yes. Went wacko last week. We had to move our operations outside and finish strong, but he's been working all week. Replacing routers and all that other stuff that I have have no knowledge about. So thanks, John, for logging on. And let's see, Sherry Moody, rooting from Texas. Thanks, Miss Moody. Christy French, watching from her warm home. Thanks, Miss French. Michelle Appleton.
Thank you for those suggestions, Michelle. I mean, I got to find another team so that I don't lose my mind on Sundays. Okay?
She gave a list.
Yep, and I don't disagree with very many. I'm assuming the connection with the Buccaneers would obviously be Baker Mayfield. OU fan. Bills, yeah, I like the Bills myself. Josh Allen's an easy one to root for, but
yeah, it's been a rough year football wise, except for the Wagner Bulldogs.
Friday night has been good. Saturday and Sunday have been a little rough this year. But
OU alum, it's
and I saw somebody mentioned on there talking about how Elgin, had kind of handled Clinton early in the year, 42-7. I'd always caution people to be a little comparative on scores because different times a year and different things. But respectfully, I 100% get it. I agree. Elgin did get after these Clinton Red Tornadoes pretty good in week 9, so it was later in the year. But But, when you get into a do or die situation, there's very few programs in the state of Oklahoma that fight the way Clinton will fight. And I do expect them to fight the second half. I expect them to keep coming with their best efforts. This first drive will be key. I think, again, 16 points, having to go try to score against our defense 3 times in the second half with the style of offense that they run, I think would be a big ask. So.
Yeah.
There is definitely going to be. I feel like Wagner's going to take this opening drive of the second half, and I think we're going to see a much different second half as we did first half. But not to take anything away from Clinton, as we've seen what they've had and really have moved the ball up and down the field, but just. The Bulldogs have been able to, they had that last interception there and have really stiffened up once they have encroached the Bulldog territory. So, Devette Fox, thanks for logging on. Donald Fox, Bill Bob, thanks for logging on. The score should be right down at the bottom of your screen. It should be correct at 9-0. David Johnson and Wagner girls basketball. That's Randy Pape watching from Edmond tonight, along with maybe Cambry and Caden.
Now, I do think one interesting deal, and again, I can be one of those overanalyzers with this, but their kickers were out pretty early and start a second half. We might want to keep our eye just on this opening kickoff here to make sure that it is kicked deep.
Right.
That was just a quick observation there to see if they got anything up their sleeve right here to try to talk, that momentum we were talking about that the Bulldogs are going to want to start this second half fast.
Nick, we got a shout out from said Olivia Ashley said, "Hey Nick, she's still not sure who she's rooting for."
Hey, Miss Ashley, I told you, hey, you remember, Miss Ashley is an excellent one of our early childhood teachers. She's from Clinton, taught at Clinton, and is now teaching for us. I politely reminded her where her paychecks come from for tonight. But I definitely understand the loyalty. That's for sure. Yeah, she's an excellent teacher for us.
They're going to kick it deep. This will be DJ Pierce on the return.
He's done a good job this year on
yes, he has.
Return game.
Yeah, he'll get across the 20. Looked like he stepped out at about the 22. Everyone, make sure that everyone knows that we are live here at WL Odom Field and Dale Condit Stadium. We are the start of the second half. Bulldogs up 9-0.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see. Again, we were very conscious of running the football in the first half, and I know they saw some things in the passing game, so I'll be real curious. And Clinton did a good job of bottling up the run game, minus a couple big runs. So here we're coming out, spreading out right off the bat.
I was about to say, I would not be surprised if we see something deep right here on a 1st and 10 to start off this second half. Charbonneau, pressure put on, and it got to him. He was able to get the pass off, and there was a receiver in the vicinity. I believe that's Gavin Miller, but nice pressure by the Red Tornado defense.
Yep, that right there was I have a feeling we had a guy coming open right across the middle again there, and that was great pressure by Clinton to not allow that to happen.
One thing I did see early when we flared it back, which we throw it to him a lot doing that, I didn't think they adjusted to it very well.
That's a quick hit to Swanson. Yep. Swanson with the stiff arm.
Nice run.
Yeah.
Good job.
Nice run after catch by Matson Swanson. It's actually the first time that we've called his name with the ball in his hands offensively, although he did recover that fumble on offense, so maybe the second time.
Well, one thing you didn't see a lot of that we have done throughout the year is, we call it smoke, where we throw it out there quick.
Okay.
And they've been playing the run heavy, and so that's a good adjustment. That's an adjustment your quarterback can make right there, where he has the read to either hand the ball off or throw it. Kel made a good decision right there, get the ball out to Matson in space and take advantage of it. But again, we start off on first down with a good 5-yard run right there. So
Trenton Edward to the 41, 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs. Charbonneau with Edward in the backfield.
Great job by the defensive end there, because Matson's wide open for an easy little pitch and catch. Defensive lineman, if you can't get to the quarterback, you get your hands up, and so that was well done.
Number one or
number one?
Okay,
fullback on offense.
Malachi Lorne getting his big paw up there to bat it away. 3rd and 5 after the incompletion. Charbonneau from the shotgun.
Big play right here.
Charbonneau wants to throw, looking right, got a man. He makes the catch. That's a great catch. The Red Tornado cornerback, that was a great timing as he hit him right with, is that Trenton Edward on the reception?
No, number 10.
Number 10. Oh, that's Avon Goodwin.
And I'm going to tell you right there that Gavin Miller is wide open down, and you'll see him on the film.
Okay.
That'll be something we'll come back to. You'll see that play come back to.
Here's Charbonneau looking downfield. We got a man, Matson Swanson.
There we go.
And now the Bulldog offense starting to tick.
Yep. Attacking them downfield, as I said earlier, felt like this is something we could definitely take advantage of.
Ball is at the Red Tornado 29-yard line. 10:40 left as we're just starting this second half, third quarter. Bulldogs 1st and 10. This time is Trenton Edward. Edward into the Red Tornado secondary across the 20 to the 19-yard line. And Leland, it's kind of a 1-2 punch between the quick hits on the pass and now with the run.
Yeah, we kind of, right now we're in a rhythm. This is how our offense usually operates. And
that's Edward again, this time for short yardage on a 1st and 10. He'll pick up about 1 or 2. Let's talk about those linemen. We never want to forget them. We've got number 75. That's Dax Griffin anchoring the center of that offensive line. 56 is down there. I believe that's Von Holt. We got 66, BB. 65 is Fowler. Gavin Miller at tight end. I think I'm leaving out 1. 57 as Trenton Edward over the right side. Slips a couple tackles, and he's in for the score. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Trenton Edward. Again, we talked about his shiftiness, and there was 2 or 3 Red Tornadoes that had a shot at him. They just couldn't get a clean hit.
Man, I'm telling you, we have the defense on their heels right now, man. They don't know what's coming. You know, the passing game, the run game, everything is clicking. That's just a perfect way to start the second half of Bulldogs.
And the Bulldogs are going to go for 2 here to make this a 3-score game. Ball be as around the 2.5, 3-yard line on a 2-point conversion attempt. Charbonneau directing traffic with Edward in the backfield with him. Man in motion is Ford. Charbonneau looking in the end zone.
Pivot route on the outside. That was a great job by the Clinton quarter. People don't realize how hard of a route that is to cover on the goal line. That was well done. But again, coming out second half, that's exactly what Wagner needed to do. They needed to come down. Now we're putting a lot of pressure on Clinton on their very first drive of this second half. They do not want to give that ball right back to our offense.
No.
9:53 left in the third quarter. Wagner Bulldogs 15. Clinton Red Tornadoes 0. And Jared Edwards, thanks for logging on. And early in the game, KO got a bummed ankle, and he's kind of been taking it easy on the defensive side of things, but been able to jump back in on the offense and deliver the strike. A couple different strikes on that last drive, and then Trenton Edward ends it with the touchdown run.
We're down, missing 1. Okay, there we go.
Susie Cagle, thanks for logging on. Linda says number 16 is mine. Thanks for logging on, Linda.
Okay.
And then looks like the I-14 Sports Network. It's Coach Chad Soma's family. Watch them from Killeen, Texas, saying go Dogs.
Special teams kick back in. I was immediately counting to see if we had all of them out there. Missing 1. We're missing 1.
It's Rhett Butler, number 23. He'll kick it away from the 40. I'm thinking he's going to try to drop it right about that 35, 36-yard line.
You know, his traditional pooch kick over there to the right, I was about to say, Clinton lined up right now. I was about to say.
And that goes a little bit deeper than what normal.
That was a fair catch.
Yep.
Okay.
To the 21-yard line.
It's a half-hearted fair catch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I think, he's probably wishing he hadn't, but.
Now, as big as the possession it was for Wagner, this is even a bigger possession for Clinton right here. As you said earlier, they definitely don't want to give the ball back real quick. No 3 and out here for them. They want to try to drive the field and make something happen here.
1st and 10. Clinton from their own 21.
Looks like they got a little wing kind of offset fullback up top, predominantly run towards him. There's your toss sweep at him.
That's Collins.
And again, these are 3 and 4 yard gains, and we just need to keep making them snap the ball.
Bryce Steele, the first to hit him. And that'll be a 3-yard gain to the 24, 3rd or 2nd and 7 for the Red Tornadoes.
We got a Wildcat here.
Yeah.
Quarterback's lined up top.
They'll run to the left. That's number 11.
Yeah.
haven't called his name very often as far as run. Had a couple passes thrown his way. Darren Hester, and he's going to pick up 4 on the play. 3rd and a short 3. The ball is placed at the 28-yard line, 23-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. 8:55, clock's running into the third quarter.
Well, again, you're in the down and distance that Clinton's more comfortable with, but we just got to keep making them snap the ball at this point in the game. Time is not going to be on their side with these long.
Quarterback rolls to his right, looking back the other way. Number 6, DJ Pierce, thought he had one for a pick 6, and he just got a little too excited.
Man, he was already looking at the end zone, man, and just broke concentration there.
Potential pick 6 for number 6, DJ Pierce, but the ball will fall incomplete. Clinton will still be forced to punt on a 4th and 3, and Bo McFarland awaits the punt at the Bulldog 45-yard line.
Maybe this could be the time where he gets an opportunity to get a return.
Yeah.
It's like we're all going to put on a little pressure here.
Clean snap. The punt is away. It's high and short.
Get away now.
Get away. Get away.
And that's going to roll dead right where McFarland was standing in the first place. So the Bulldogs will have it 1st and 10 from their own 45. And gentlemen, we talked at halftime exactly what Clinton did not want to happen. First of all, the Bulldogs on their first drive for a score, and then a 3-and-out for the Clinton Red Tornadoes.
Yes, and I expect us to take a play action shot pretty early in this possession.
I'm about to say, I think this is when we're going to see that play action.
We may run it once or twice just to set it up, but it won't be long.
Here's a little inside pitch to Avon Goodland. Goodland, we haven't called his name much on the offensive side of things, but little. How about a mini razzle dazzle?
Yeah. It's a neat little different way to run a reverse kind of there.
Sorry for that silence, ladies and gentlemen. We had to pause for a little photo op. 1st and 10 for the Wagner Bulldogs at the Clinton Red Tornado 37-yard line. Charbonneau.
There, I like it.
Quick hit, Coleman.
I like it again.
Nice little moves there.
Was that little late? Okay.
That was Edward out there also throwing a block. Coleman's going to get to the 31-yard line. Now they're going to spot it right at the 30. Or a pickup of 7, 3rd and 3 for the Bulldogs.
Maybe the shot coming now.
Charbonneau finds Swanson, picks up a block.
Nice.
That's Goodland blocking for him.
Those are basically extensions of the run game. Okay. I mean, being able to do that right there is just, you're trying to make the other team guard sideline to sideline, which traditionally opens up the middle of the field. And so
ball's at the 21. Here's another pass to Swanson.
Oh, we hadn't seen one of those this half. And
flag is resting at the 21. And
I
believe that was a holding call against the Bulldogs, as Wagner's tempo has picked up this second half for sure. And yeah, that is the call, holding against the Bulldogs. Respect to the opponent, spectators, coaches, and officials is necessary at all levels of athletics and activity programs. At today's game, everyone's behavior could be characterized by generosity and genuine concern for others. Sportsmanship is everyone's responsibility to do the right thing, and as oddly enough, applies for being online as well. Here's Charbonneau. And he wheels it over. It makes the catch. Inside. And then is tackled at the 21. Picks up most of that penalty yardage back. Charbonneau held on to it as long as he could.
That was a pretty good throw.
Yeah.
Considering back foot was going on there.
That's where being such a big, strong kid is an advantage, because that was a tough throw to make. So right here again, we're spreading them out. Got a little doubles formation.
Charbonneau. Here's that underneath screen.
Yeah.
That's Goodwin. Goodwin with plenty of opportunity to run. And the turf must be getting a little slick because we've seen that a couple of the last plays.
Yes. Well, and again, starting straight out at halftime, we've got to set the tone to the second half, different compared to the start of the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're seeing Clinton on their heels. And again, one more score right here, and boy, this game gets really, really hard on Clinton.
6-17 and counting in this third quarter. 1st and 10 Bulldogs from the Red Tornado 11. Here's Trenton Edward over the left side. Bryce Steele with the lead block.
We've had a good balance tonight. Had a good balance. I feel like we've really we've run the ball well tonight when we've needed to, and it's setting up everything else that we're wanting to do.
Number 57 also leading that blocking, Hayden Freeman. That was that one that I had missed when we were talking about the lineman. Pick up a 4, 2nd and 6. Here's Edward again, and this time the Tornadoes are there to make the stop.
This is when you notice the difference between a quarterfinal team and the teams we've been playing during the regular season. Is it's just having to snap it a few more times. It doesn't come as easy, which, like I said, will be really good for our boys as the season goes on. But this is a big play for Clinton right here.
Yep. 3rd and 7. The Bulldogs can get to the 1 for a first down. Charbonneau rolls to his right, got a man in the flat. That's Bryce Steele. Bryce makes a good catch, sheds one tackler, plows through the other, gets inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. It's going to be short of the first down, but now we've got decision time on a 4th and 3.
I could see us going here. That's a tough angle for a kicker.
Yeah. Far hash mark.
Far hash mark. High school, the hashes are a little wider. Yeah, it looks like we're definitely going right here. I would agree with that. That's a tough angle for a high school kicker.
The ball's outside the 4-yard line. We need to get outside the 1 for a first down. And, of course, 1 more yard gets a touchdown. Charbonneau, touchdown Bulldogs. Number 4 kills Charbonneau. And that was a huge hole that he just ran through as Gavin Miller, Trevor Fowler, Hayden Freeman over on that right side, I believe. Also number 65, Stavery James. And Charbonneau goes in untouched on a 4th and 3. 4 yards for the score. Touchdown Bulldogs.
Yeah, that right there, that was blocked very well up front. I thought it was, again, great second half. It's been a great start to second half. Now, this is where you go put somebody away. This next drive, get you a 3 and out, get them off the field, 1 more, and then you can start getting yourself ready.
Ball along, kicks it through. Wagner Bulldogs 22. Clinton Red Tornado 0. 4:17 left in the third quarter. And from the very beginning of this half, the Bulldogs have marched down twice now and scored touchdowns. Clinton Red Tornadoes have only had the ball once this half so far, and it was a 3 and out. They'll have another chance here, and you got to start thinking as far as the Clinton Red Tornadoes offense of what we've seen so far, they're going to have to score here, or they may just run out of time.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see if they stick to their game plan of trying to be patient and run the football and getting those 3 or 4 yard runs and drive down the field. But as you go on, this clock is working against them, and again, totally out of their comfort zone of what they want to do.
Brock Carr, thanks for logging on. Doc Pig, Glenda Gray, and I think all of Susan Harris, thanks for logging on. And everyone else that we've talked through this game, 495 different ways that people are watching. And again, that's not counting the other stream, just the Wagner stream. So I'm sure there's well over 500. We may be pressing 600 by now as Rhett Butler kicks it off and gets it almost in the exact place as the previous kick. It's going to be returned across the 30 to the 32-yard line. And the way
we're like we might have got a turnover, but I see the referees.
That's kind of what I was looking at. I was like, there's a lot of action down there and some excitement, and maybe there was a turnover, but looks like the Red Tornadoes have the ball.
I do think a flag came down.
Oh, okay. So, just had an update on our viewers. How about 700? 700 different places that are watching Bulldog football right now. I want to thank all 700. Actually, if we say that's looks like that penalty is going to be against the Bulldogs.
Face mask in there.
Oh,
well,
okay.
the way he kind of fell down, which again we're up here at an angle that's a little harder to see. You didn't see much of an argument there, so I'm guessing we may have grabbed him around the.
Now sorry, Nick. I want to point this out. Here's a name that we're all going to recognize: Lattez Clayton.
Oh la la.
Oh la la.
Hal Wheatley, I know you recognize that name as well, Nick. Hal, thanks for logging on. The Red Tornadoes have a 1st and 10 after that penalty is assessed from the 47.
That's backwards. That is backwards.
Live.
Oh,
here's the thing. We're going to sell it.
Yeah.
We're going to sell it. Well, okay.
That is number 9, Bo McFarland. That ball was live, and I'm not sure if number 11 really knew whether it was or not. He kind of nonchalantly comes up to it. So
yeah, he actually got out of the way of the Bulldog defender as he dove in to go get it.
Well, like right there, again, this is how a game plays out. That's the pressure you're putting on a team where they're feeling the need to throw the ball to stay in the game, and now they're out of their element. And this is normally where teams get themselves in trouble against us. And so hopefully we can continue to finish this out strong in this third quarter.
2nd down and 20 now. We'll call it 19 for the Red Tornadoes. There's a pitch out to Collins. He'll get the corner. Collins down the sidelines, and he's going to pick up 1st down.
We got a flag.
I'm not worried about that. I don't know if you guys noticed one of our starters was put an outside backer out there. It got taken out. I don't know. He did something a little wrong. We're having a good discussion with Coach Collins.
We're going to have a
sophomore out there.
Block in the back is the call against the Red Tornadoes. And the way when Collins turned up field, there was no one there. Well, maybe that's why.
That we're glad to see that one go against Clinton right there. That was the first time that he's been able to get loose. And so now you're. I've heard it described a lot of different ways. It's 2nd and a lot.
Yes.
I'll let you fill in the blank of what town you want to call it or whatever. I think we actually offended an opponent one time by what town's 2nd.
Oh, yeah.
In some place.
Yeah. 2nd in Muskogee.
Well, right now, we're 2nd in Muskogee for the Red Tornadoes, just at their 31. And quarterback kind of throws that one up for grabs. And Coleman is not able to bring it down as the Clinton Red Tornado quickly became a receiver to a defensive back.
That was the exact definition of what I was getting ready to say. An offensive player became the defensive back right there because Mr. Coleman had that sniffed out from the very beginning. Again, our defensive coaching staff has done an excellent job in this game. You can tell that they have been keyed in on pretty much every tendency that Clinton has. And
I don't know if Clinton has many plays in the playbook. 3rd and 25. We'll see.
This might be your sprint draw, Leland. Potential.
3rd and long for Clinton. Quarterback looking to throw. Now flushed out of the
quarterback draw.
And he will be tackled well short of 1st down yardage.
Mr. McFarland, and there's somebody else getting up.
I think it was
42.
42, Gavin Miller. The Cousins joining in. Brian Bean, thanks for logging on from Moline, Illinois. Connie, we talked to Connie with New Hampshire. Nick and Sue Fleming saying, let's go Dogs. And that is our own Mr. Fleming's mom and dad. Thanks for logging on, guys. As the Clinton Red Tornadoes punt the ball away. McFarland may have a chance on this one. This is Bo McFarland. cut down at the 35. He split 2 tacklers. And unfortunately for Bulldog fans, that's the only time that we've been able to see McFarland return a punt.
Yep.
Well, Leland, we'll do a little friendly bet right here. How many plays before we take a deep shot?
I'm gonna say
over under going to be 2. I'm going to set it at 2. You want the over or the under?
I'm actually going to be surprisingly and say over. I think we're going to run a couple and then we'll end up taking a shot.
And again, I did say friendly wager, folks. Just
about a Dr. Pepper.
Just for fun, yes.
Coleman, this is Charbonneau. Vincent Swanson makes the catch. He was wide open across the 40 to about the 38-yard line. And the Bulldogs have not turned back since the opening kickoff of this second half.
Now, this has been our advantage all night long. We just have got to set the pace to the second half a lot better. Great job right there by Kale, holding the ball long enough. And yes, Leland, that Dr. Pepper will taste good.
Yeah. Lost that one.
That is Trenton Edward. Edward gets tackled at the 25-yard line, and the Red Tornadoes are on their heels.
You know, and one thing about his running style that I've noticed over the years is he looks like he's gliding. I want everybody to know he's extremely fast. Like that's once he gets in the open field, there's not very many people that are going to catch him. So he's done a great job of running hard on top of that.
This is number 2 to Caden Ford. Able to cut upfield inside the 15 and shoved out of bounds at the 13-yard line. And again, the Red Tornadoes are just on their heels and can't come up with a solution of this Bulldog offensive attack.
Well, and me and Leland were talking about this before at the game. The amount of people making plays for us right now is a really good thing as we move through these deep parts of the playoffs. We have a lot of playmakers on this offense. I've been very impressed.
Charbonneau wants to throw. We've got a man. That's Anthony Coleman. Minimal gain as the Red Tornadoes are there.
That's a face mask because it's right by the guy being tackled.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out right quick to my sister Kelly Kraft. She's actually in South Africa right now. Polokwane, I believe, is the pronunciation of that, and it's about I think it's about 3:30 in the morning. She's actually on vacation, and she's logging in, watching the Bulldog offense perhaps put the nail in the coffin late in this third quarter.
Well, and to give you an idea, on that reference, we have 6 different receivers this year with almost 20 catches or more.
Wow.
And, that's a pretty good that's a tough thing for a defense to have to do, not to mention the fact of Kale that can run the ball and our tailback being so strong as well.
And that tailback is there, busting it to the outside. He gets inside the 5, near first down yardage. It's going to be close. And he's going to make first down. Trenton Edward with a 1st and goal just inside the 3-yard line. 1:56 left in the third quarter. Kerry Wakerfield, thanks for logging on. Marla Dowling. David the Grunge Sullivan. All right. John, I'll come back to you. Thanks for chiming in. And here is Cale Charbonneau. Touchdown Bulldogs. Number 4, Cale Charbonneau got tripped up and just dove right into the end zone. And the Bulldogs have taken control of this third quarter and this game.
Yep, as you said, Nick, this is when you start seeing some separation in the second half of these games, and Wagner is definitely opening up a big lead here. Looking at some other scores around, I see Elgin's 28-6. Starting to see some separation there also. So it's second half is when you start to see this.
Well, you never want to pretend. I mean, famous words of to why you play the games. Mm-hmm. But this has been a collision course with 3 pretty good teams in 4A. And they're all 3 having dominant performances tonight.
Yes.
So that the next couple weeks are going to be some really exciting football games in 4A. we no longer have to wonder who's going to be better between some of these teams. We're going to actually get to see them. And, that part is exciting for everybody. And like I said, this is the first round where the East and the West get to really see each other. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of intrigued viewers across the entire state tonight.
Nick, and when we were coaching together, this was always this was always my favorite round of football as a coach because we got to see different teams. I kind of like being able to play somebody different, not seeing those same teams over and over again. So it was always kind of exciting for a different type of matchup.
Ball along adds the extra point. Wagner Bulldogs 29. Clinton Red Tornadoes 0. 1:37 left in the third quarter. As Rhett Butler will kick it away from his own 40. And this guy is a master. And that actually this time is going to bounce out of bounds, but almost the exact same spot again. Red Tornadoes took a little bit of a gamble there, not catching that one. And it paid off as it bounced out of bounds.
Yeah.
Well, Rhett was one of my partners one time when I played in a, the
cornhole.
Little cornhole game.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to play him in cornhole or darts. If he can kick the ball in the exact same spot every time,
right.
I'm afraid of how good he would be at those.
Clinton Red Tornadoes have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 35, 1:36 left in this third quarter. And the Red Tornado fans are probably getting antsy right now. And
got us a quarterback change.
Okay. Number 5, the man in motion. And somebody jumped a little early. As Sully K watching from a naval base in New London. Sully, if you will verify that for us and tell everybody where, if you can, tell everybody where that is. That is definitely a new place for the FNB world. And Triple K's watching from Australia. Got the flag going on in the chat room. So Triple K's, if you could verify that for us, that'd be great. David Langford, thanks for logging on. Mario, he's watching for Stillwater as he has. And we'll come back to what happens next week on a 1st and 15, and that play is going to be...
That is the delay of game penalty. Wow. Again, you saw it with us. Change a quarterback, so you get a cadence jump. Now you get a delay of game. These are when they hear a different voice calling out the cadence. And these are high school students.
Yes,
they don't go to training camp every day of the week. Every minute of the year in preparation. So these mistakes are pretty common when you start making quarterback changes.
1st and 20 for Clinton from their own 25. Quarterback up under center. Here's the pitch. Toss, cuts back to the inside, and he is cut down. Looks like Bryce Steele cut him down, and he'll fall forward to the 28-yard line. Sully K, thanks for clearing that up for us from Groton, Connecticut. And I want to mention that one more time because Connecticut is one of 4 states that we do not have. Now we can mark that off the list. We're down to 3 states. So from Groton, Connecticut, thanks for logging on, Sully K.
You got a little left heavy formation here, a little fullback dive.
And the Bulldog defense has just... they were really tough in the first half, and they're even tougher in the second half.
Yeah, this is not a game that Clinton is signed up for at this point. And like I said, great program, great coaches. They do a great job there. This game has gotten to a stage of it to where they're this point, they're just trying to find anything to get some momentum.
A 3rd and 15 for Clinton from their own 30. Here's that toss sweep, and Bulldog defense is there again. DJ Pierce, number 54, Anthony Harris, Caden Ford, Vaughn Holt. This defense has just been really, really swarming, and that will be the end of the third quarter. Wagner 29-0 over Clinton. Thank everyone for logging on and all the places that we're at. The last count, we were at 800. You heard that right. 800 different places watching Wagner Bulldog football. Not only watching Wagner Bulldog football, but watching the Wagner Bulldogs dominate in quarterfinal action. I want to throw one more fact out there. This is the 20th year in a row that the Wagner Bulldogs have made it to quarterfinal action. You're not going to hear that. You're almost never going to hear that stat.
No, you know, our football program has been strong for quite some time, obviously under the leadership of Coach Condit. And our coaches have done a great job. Our players do a great job. It's a great combination that they have going. And I think this team, this was something good I wanted to see tonight. Because Clinton is a very physically, they're a good physical football team. And the way our boys have responded in the second half has really given me a lot of good vibes heading forward.
Clinton will be punting the ball to start this fourth quarter. Bo McFarland stands at his own 40, awaiting the punt. Clean snap, punt is away, and McFarland is going to have a chance here.
Oof.
Uh-oh, did the ball come loose?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was definitely.
I think they're going to get him for hitting him late.
Okay.
Yeah, might get a late hit.
I saw that body fly in and thought that the ball might have come loose, but the yellow flag is on the field.
I like how hard that young man plays.
Yeah.
In that situation in the fourth quarter. Please go down.
Yeah,
You're right.
Please go down right now.
Yeah, true.
But again, it's not a button you can just turn off, folks.
Yeah.
It's not, and that I like how hard that kid plays.
Yeah, that was a long third quarter compared to
That's
the other
true.
quarters we had.
Yeah.
Probably the longest for Clinton.
Right, for sure.
But
That is going to be a late hit, 15-yard penalty. Ball will be at the 43-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. And I think the Bulldogs are going to get to that 35 I predicted. I don't think the Tornadoes are going to get to the 14.
well, I said 35-7.
Oh, okay,
I'm still on the
okay.
run. I'm still on the running.
Here's Tayshawn Williams, a good hit.
That's number 3.
Zayden Collins.
He's a good high school football player. He does a good job.
Sherry Self, thanks for logging on. Sherry and I won't tell you how long ago we worked together at Walmart, but thanks for logging on, Sherry. Tina Stamps, Randy and Tina watching from home tonight. Debbie Grabler from Portland, Oregon. I believe that is John's aunt. And John, I know you had made a comment a couple minutes ago and on a 2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs. That's Coleman. Coleman is going to take and they're going to blow that dead. Is there
Number 3? I think number 3 got a head start. I think he made our guard pay for it too. Oh.
I think that's exactly what happened. Is they're going to call offsides against Wagner. John Page usually with us on Friday nights. He's with his son, him and Carrie, with his son Dakota on his last weekend as a OU Roughneck. And so that's where John is tonight. Thanks for logging on, John, and watching Bulldogs from Norman, Oklahoma.
Root hard tomorrow night, John.
Yes.
Man, come on. That's a national television in front of the nation.
Here's Charbonneau picking his way through, and the Red Tornadoes will stop him short of first down yardage. Be about 3rd and a long 1 as the Bulldogs look to do some clock management here.
Well, one thing too is watching Kel move around a little bit, in which he, like I said, anybody that knows that kid knows how tough he is. He's kind of limping around. That bye week might come at a great time. It might be the first time we ever got one at this time of year, but 2 weeks might be a good thing.
I was thinking the same thing. Perfect.
3rd and a short 1. Here's the pitch out to Tayshawn Williams. Williams with first down yardage and more as he is tackled at the 29-yard line. And the clock continues to run after the chains are reset. Okay, Debbie Cousins. All right, sorry about that. But Debbie, John's cousin, watching from Oregon tonight. And Rick Montgomery Dogs wearing them down. That's exactly what's happened. And Anna Dickinson from Mount Snow, Vermont. Thanks for logging on, Anna. And the Bulldogs will have a 1st and 10 from the Tornado 29-yard line. Charbonneau hands off to, that's Trenton Edward. And nice defensive pursuit by the Red Tornadoes.
You know, one thing you'll start talking about right now, and I know our coaches are speaking it and getting it in our ears. When you get to this time of the game where the other team knows their season's coming to a close, this is where you got to really start thinking with your head. Anything extra after a play, you need to let go. Don't get your feelings hurt, regardless of what they say or do at this point. You know, and so we got to be very intelligent these last 8 minutes here, just to not get baited into anything silly.
2nd and 8 for the Bulldogs as Charbonneau looking to throw. Man underneath. It's David Goodland.
They're going to get us for a block in the back.
Yeah. A little extra shove there right when Goodland was catching the ball. Anthony Holmes, thanks for logging on. If it's Anthony Holmes I'm thinking of, that's about an 87, 88 grad from Wagner. Riley Frost, there's another Wagner grad. Riley, sorry about that. I saw you earlier. I thought we had said something, but I want to thank everyone. Again, 800. We may be over 800 by now, but it's just wild to think about here in little bitty old Wagner, and that is a push in the back. So the Bulldogs will be assessed on that penalty, and we're in the 4th quarter here with 8:46 left. The Bulldogs have been in control since the opening kickoff of the second half.
You know, that'll be a continue. You know, the good thing is that'll continue to be a coaching point as we move forward of trying to eliminate some of these penalties. And I know we disagree with some of them, but you know, we got to find a way for them not to be called the next 2 games, because the opponents only get tougher from here on out.
We got 2nd and okay for the Bulldogs. Charbonneau. A little delay, a real long delay.
I'll let you guess who hit him.
Yep, Zaydon Collins.
Guys, I'm thinking number 3 tonight is not going well for him on offense, and he is taking it out on our players on defense. I think he's playing a lot of aggression right now on defense.
Michael Barnett, thanks for logging on. Hal was in those early years of early 2000 years, and says that Bulldog football has come a long way since then, as Hal played on those teams. And okay, Anthony, I knew it was close. About a 3rd and really long for the Bulldogs. Charbonneau looking to pass downfield for Coleman. Almost picked off by number 11 for the Red Tornadoes, Darren Hester. And I think Charbonneau took a shot there right after he threw it.
I don't like him taking those shots this late in the game.
I'm going to say by the reaction of Coach Connick, he did not either.
That might be the last time we see him take a snap on offense tonight. But you know, one thing that kind of held off on us now as we're getting later, and obviously the outcome seems pretty settled. You know, one really good byproduct of playing a team like Clinton tonight is that our next opponent will be the.
We got 15,
we got it first down. Well, actually,
is it automatic in high school?
I don't think it is.
And I don't like the fact that he's
not
still down. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Bulldogs punted that ball away, and ball along was taken out. So I don't think that's automatic. So even with the 15-yard penalty, that shows you how much we had to go for that first down. But we'll see. It doesn't look like the chain game is moving anytime soon. But we may see the offense back out on the field because it's a much more manageable 4th.
I guess it's
automatic. All right. So what's the chances of the chain gain only having to move 1 yard to reset the down?
Nick, I know. Well, Charbonnet's out there, but I'm just going to say I don't think there will be any quarterback runs me handling the ball here and something very quick if we throw it.
Yes. And the one thing I'll complete my thought when I was saying earlier is kind of a good byproduct of playing Clinton here is the style of offense they run, the physical nature of their offense is very similar to what Elgin's going to bring to the table in 2 weeks. But it's going to be a way different quality. As one of our viewers stated earlier, Elgin beat the same Clinton team in week 9, 42-7. So, pretty similar kind of a difference right here. But having seen Elgin, big physical run game mixed in with some good play action, they're a little different in the passing game than what we saw from Clinton tonight. So it was a good it's a good opponent to have this week so we could see some of those run game things and play some of those physical teams to where when we get into here in 2 weeks with our semifinal matchup, I think our guys will even be more prepared.
Okay. Sandy LaFontaine calling it a night tonight. Thanks for joining us, Sandy. Here's a little razzle dazzle, and Swanson's going to take a loss on that one. But she joined us last week from Poto and decided she wanted to watch some more Bulldog football.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's not good.
Thanks for logging on.
Man, I didn't think that was a cramp. I thought that was something much worse. Okay. I guess I just saw that wrong.
And LJ, and I know Gavin had said this as well, and Mario saw your possible semifinal neutral site. So this is the first year of the bye week. And Nick, I believe it's because A through 6A all are going to be at UCO. Is that
and they split Class A into Class A1 and Class A2, and they split Class 2A the same way. There was a lot of discussion throughout the state because there really is a huge difference in ADM from some of the large 2As to the small 2As and from the large A's to the small A's. And so the state flipped those two into two different. So we have 2 additional state championship games that have to be fit in. And so trying to get all those games at Edmond, we're on the cycle where we get a bye week during Thanksgiving week. So
Charbonneau looking to throw. Tayshawn Williams, great grab, but he goes to the ground. That's why we'll be looking at a bye week next week. Is usually we've got some special Thanksgiving practices and also some usually working late on a Black Friday night, but that will not be the case this year. Again, all of those teams are going to have to break it up over 2 weekends there at UCO, and hence the bye week for the Wagner Bulldogs next week. And I think we could safely say that we're going to move into that bye week as we are under 6 minutes here left at WL Odom Field. 4th and long for the Bulldogs, and that's going to be a timeout called. Delay a game against Wagner.
Give our punter a little bit of room to
pin them deep.
Yep.
Kenny Milton, thanks for logging on. And again, 5:45 left in the ball game. Thank everyone for logging on tonight, and apologize if we missed anybody. I'm going to try to give out as many shout-outs as we can. And if we had to do it to 800 different places, we'd be talking about shout-outs instead of football all night long. And we want to thank everyone that has logged on tonight, made this an exciting game as Balalong punts it away. And number 34, Garen Arnold, will down the ball inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. I want to give a shout-out to Van Shea Ivan from the OSSAA. He is in charge of media relations. He's always been really good to us of getting us permission to stream these games. I saw a comment asking about whether we would be able to stream the semifinal game, and as long as we receive authorization, we will be able to do that, and we will bring that information to you as quickly as we can. And Mario talking about some possible sites, Yukon, SNU, Choctaw, Putnam City. It looks like it's going to be Elgin that we'll meet, as they are they're well ahead of the Salisal Black Diamonds right now. So Elgin, if you're not real sure where that is, that's on your way to Lawton, down I-35, I believe. And so it'll be tough to find somewhere where both teams are traveling evenly.
Yeah.
So we have chop block. Okay, it's the Tornadoes personal foul that'll pin them deep as 5:28 reads on the clock. But Mario, we had pretty good luck at SNU last year, so maybe it'll be there again this year.
Take it.
So the Elgin Owls, by the way, if you didn't know who Elgin was, they are the Owls, and I believe this, unless we go way back into Wagner history, this may be the first time that we've ever met the Elgin Owls.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting deal to look into. And they've been in 5A for the past few years, and they got bumped down this year to 4A. Now they spent some time in 4A. They had just bumped themselves up to 5A, but again, not a traditional opponent by any stretch, and not a name that's known to our people here in Wagner all that much. But let me just tell you that our coaches are fully aware of who they're going to be playing here in 2 weeks. Elgin is an outstanding football team this year, just as our Bulldogs are. So it'll be I'm really looking forward to that matchup next round.
Yeah. In the wrestling world, here recently, they've actually really excelled in the wrestling program.
Okay.
And kind of coincide with the football. I know we always talk about wrestling and football, and I know in your podcast today how that kind of goes hand in hand. And I know on their football team, some of their better, more physical players are wrestlers, and I believe a couple of state champion wrestlers that play some skill positions for them. So,
wow,
it'll be an interesting physical battle, and I look forward to that.
Well, I think after tonight, you can see this team, raised the ante of some of the quality of competition tonight, and you're going to just see it doubled the next round, which is the way it should be. But I'm really looking forward to that matchup. They're gigantic up front. I mean, absolutely huge. With, as Coach A said, some pretty tough little wrestlers kind of running the ball, doing some things with their skill kids. So it'll be a great challenge for our Bulldogs, but I always say I really like when our team's kind of doubted. And I think our coaches and players have heard how great Elgin is all year long. And I think 2 weeks preparation, I really like our coaches will have our kids prepared and ready to play that game.
I think
that's a catch made by the Red Tornadoes. It's kind of a fake double reverse there.
I think it's kind of similar to what they tried to do earlier when we
tackled him.
When we tackled him.
Okay,
we didn't get him that time.
Well, right now is the defensive coach's most stressful time. I promise you, Coach Gilstrap has not relaxed yet.
No.
When you're trying to get a shutout, it don't matter if it's regular season or the playoffs.
Yeah.
You have worked hard all night long. You want to keep that 0 on that board, and you will see our defensive staff still running up and down this sidelines right now, trying to hold out for these last 4 minutes.
Horseman 060, thanks for that. He said he just looked it up. This will be the first meeting ever between Elgin and Wagner.
Oh, my.
There's some collision going on down there still.
Oh, my.
I'm telling you, number 3 is playing like a very angry young man. He is not happy about how this night has turned out, and he is leave his mark here at the end.
I believe that was number 28, Andrew Rathsack, with that collision with Collins. And the ball will be at midfield for the Red Tornadoes. Moving the ball here, but just too little too late for Clinton. 1st and 10 for Clinton from midfield. 3:21 left in the ball game. Collins again. And so the Elgin Owls and the Wagner Bulldogs. And again, as soon as we get word of when that neutral site will be revealed, we will get that out on our Friday Night Bulldogs page and all of the different social media avenues, and we'll probably get it on the school website because we want to travel very well to wherever that may be. Rick Montgomery, thanks for logging on. Class of 72. Brian Blagg, there's a Bulldog name saying he remembers that first encounter.
Great job right there.
That's
Number
DJ
6.
Pierce.
I think he was.
Yeah. Hopefully he's okay.
I was gonna say, for everybody's sake, nobody. I don't want to see anybody getting hurt at this point in the game. Hope that young man's okay.
Yeah.
That first, I believe, may have been the first meeting between Clinton and Wagner way back in 2005, 20 seasons ago, and that was Dale Condit's first season here at Wagner. And we went all the way to the state championship. At that time, was played in Norman, Oklahoma at OU Stadium, and the Clinton Tornadoes, if I remember correctly, prevailed in that one 20-7. And I believe that was the first encounter with the Red Tornadoes, and we've had 4 or 5 since. And most of them have been in the state championship or maybe even in the semifinals.
Yeah. Referee saying, let's keep that clock running.
Yeah.
At this point, we got a game to play here in 2 weeks, and Clinton's got their winter sports to get ready for. You don't want to see anybody get banged up or hurt for either side at this point.
Well, Anita, see, I would not be opposed to that either. Maybe looking at Bison Stadium in Shawnee, possibly, as a neutral site between and Wagner. And Nick, I have a feeling you wouldn't object to that either.
No.
Yeah.
I've been there a few times.
Familiar with that stadium.
Been there a few times. 4th down coming up right here at the 50-yard line. This right here is this is our defense's last stand right here. If we can hold off right here, I think we'll be able to hold that shutout, which we've done that one time previous to Clinton, but I can promise you in Clinton's history, they're not shut out very often in a football game.
Right.
Number 3's back in, so I guess he's okay.
Okay, good. 4th and 9, quarterback looking to throw across the middle.
That worked. Great job.
Almost intercepted by Anthony Coleman. And we were talking about the encounters between Clinton and Wagner. I want to shout out to David Drake. He's our media guru and statistician. And he gave us a packet up here and actually gave us the encounters between Clinton and Wagner over the years. 2005, we just talked about that. It was 20-7. 2011, that state finals, Wagner with its first state championship, 23-0 over Clinton. 2015 was the quarterfinals, Wagner 45-21 over Clinton, and then 2020 was another state championship, 42-13 over Clinton. And this will be in quarterfinal action, and the Bulldogs with 1:35 left and counting, 29-0 over the Red Tornadoes.
Well, I know Coach A feels the same way. 2011 was a special one. I got to be the defense coordinator for that team, and that was such a special group of kids that got the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
We had some great teams previous to that did a great job of laying a foundation, but 11 was the first one that cleared the hurdle.
Yep.
And then you kind of saw a little bit of a just kind of opened up the can at that point, and allowed a lot of things to happen. So, very, I think from that night, the number one thing I remember is I figured out after about 6 plays in that game that team wasn't beating us because of how hard our kids were playing that night on defense. And our guys tonight gave us a very similar effort, a great all-around effort. So.
Yeah, Nick and I talked about that earlier in the week. That game, I know we didn't start well. It's defense first, 3 and out, right?
Yep.
They punted the ball to us, and unfortunately, we fumbled the punt. They got the ball, and even though all that momentum for us fumbling, they went 3 and out. And I do remember distinctly Coach Connick looking over at me at the sideline, and he just said at that moment, he said, "Hey, they're not going to beat us. We're better than them. We're more physical, and they're not beating us tonight." And I'm telling you, it's probably one of the most physical football games I think we've ever played against anyone. And that night just felt like it was destiny. I don't know if anybody could have beat us that night.
Well, the Bulldogs will take 2 more snaps with 56 seconds left. There's the first snap, Tayshawn Williams. And we're probably going to see one more snap, and that will be the end of the ball game. Want to thank everyone for logging on and staying with us throughout. If you remember, guys, at halftime it was 15-0. And it was still 15-0. 9-0. That's right. Sorry, 9-0. That's right. We were talking about the defensive battle and how Clinton, if you could make the argument that maybe the first half went their way, even though being down 9-0. And here is that last snap, Tayshawn Williams, and that should.
They're going to get one more play.
I think Clinton.
Somebody
really
depends. No, that was fourth down if they want.
Fourth down. Okay,
if they want to.
Okay. So,
well, guys, my prediction was 35-7. But we looked at the point difference. I still did a good job.
One last plug for our first ever brought podcast it's called Friday Morning Bulldogs. If you want to look inside the minds of some of our players and students, and we ended with an interview with Coach Condit. It's called Friday Morning Bulldogs. You can log on to WPS live streams where you are right now, and you can catch that. We did that earlier on this morning, and you can log on and watch that as well. Neil King, thanks for shout outs, and everyone else that has logged on and been with us throughout this night. And that is the last call right there. Number 25, Javon Smith making that tackle. And the Bulldogs advance to semifinals after a dominant performance, especially in the second half. Wagner Bulldogs 29, Clinton Red Tornadoes 0. And gentlemen, we're not sure where we're going to go. We do know that we're going to play the Elgin Owls for the first time ever, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch wherever that may be.
Yeah. Well, high school football fans that have been paying attention, this has kind of been a collision course for quite a few weeks now. Everybody's kind of seen this matchup coming, and now you can actually talk about it.
Yeah.
And I know our players and our coaches are well aware of how good Elgin is and what competition they bring to the and hey, we got a little bit of firework action.
Got some fireworks festivities for us here at the end of this victory. I believe that is John Aldridge there. Not quite as long as it was last week, but they're still going.
Let's see.
A big one.
Difficulties in it. No, I'm sure he's been waiting all night for this.
Yeah, here they come. All right. Had to get his timing going on a little bit. John Aldridge, our technology director here at Wagner Public Schools. Got a little side hustle going on here, I guess, with the fireworks here at W.L. Odom Field at Dale Condit Stadium.
Well, all the games in 4A, Elgin's 49-6, Bethany's 29-6. Obviously, your final here was 29-0, and Tuttle beat Hilldale 49-7.
Wow.
So, like I said, it was all the expected matchups are finally going to happen in 4A this next week, and so it'll be an exciting. Well, in 2 weeks. Sorry, I'm on it, but yeah, really looking forward to these matchups.
Now, I don't know exactly what it's looked like in the past as far as the quarterfinal action, but all of those games turned out to kind of lopsided there.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's the first time you really get to start doing the West and the East, and and I think what you're seeing is that you got some pretty strong teams. I mean, Tuttle and Bethany will be a rematch from the regular season
Okay.
matchup in their semifinal. And then, of course, us and Elgin. I mean, you can get into a debate 1, 2, and 3. I'm sure every fan base feels like their team's the 1 and everybody else argue about the 2 and the 3. But, obviously, us and Elgin meeting each other and Tuttle having a rematch with Bethany, that'll be an interesting matchup because we've done that historically before where we've had to play a district opponent in a semifinal and a final matchup all those years with Cassia Halls and the Ulagas. And the second matchup's always different than the first one. So no matter what that score was, I'm sure Bethany's excited to have another shot at Tuttle.
Yeah.
And and I know both Elgin and Wagner are really looking forward to playing each other, so that'll be a fun matchup.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's going to do it here from WL Odom Field and Dale Condit Stadium. The Wagner Bulldogs 29-0 over the Clinton Red Tornadoes. And Leland, anything that you'd like to say to the Bulldog Nation out there? Really, we'll probably need to just start referring it to the Bulldog world because we are worldwide.
Well, we're so glad we have so many people from all over watching this and still being interested in our Bulldog football program. One thing I want to do definitely before I get off here is give a shout out to my wife, my beautiful wife, Leslie. All your kids, Emily and Talia. I know they're listening. And, I really appreciate getting the opportunity to do this again. It was a lot of fun and enjoy watching these Bulldogs dominate. Look forward to 2 weeks. It's gonna be really, really good. But thank all you guys for all tuning in. Though we appreciate it.
Nick, next week we're got the whole week off at Wagner Public Schools for our Thanksgiving break. What's in store for the Humphreys through? And I'm sure you're probably going to show up to this Friday practice, even though you've been out of coaching now. What's in store for the Humphreys next week?
Well, we're a host. We since I've quit coaching, we typically we host on Thanksgiving, so we'll have all our family around, and I'm sure we'll make our way out here and watch that traditional Thanksgiving practice that night. And I'm just a fan of high school football. I'll probably try to find me a game on Friday night to go watch and see how things go. But it'll be a much needed break for all our students and staff. I know everybody's looking forward to spending that time with their families, and I hope everybody enjoys this time of year and enjoy that time. It's
Absolutely.
never promised.
Yes, sir. And one last shout out to Tulsa Life Flight, Keith Owens, the pilot, able to drop in right there on the W at WL Odom Field. And I was privileged enough to be able to ride in that helicopter from Wagner Community Hospital and flew in here, dropped on the W and delivered that game ball. And thank Keith Owens, Keith and Levita Owens, and Tulsa Life Flight for providing that excitement. The opening kickoff. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate everyone that's supported us all throughout the season. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Again, look at all the social media posts to give you the direction that you need to go, that we'll all be needing to go, as it'll be a neutral site. So for Garrett Haddock, for Leland Alexander, Nick Humphreys, I'm Jeremy Holmes saying good night and God bless America. All right.